ranked right over Iowa. So
I still, like, Iowa was in a one-game situation. They wasn't even close. They got blown out.
Yeah, right.
But
okay.
I still think Iowa could. I mean, they were a play away from beating Michigan State.
Yeah, I would not put Iowa on this list. So I
Illinois, Indiana, Maryland.
I mean,
Maryland.
Illinois, Maryland scares me a little bit. But go ahead.
Oh, wow.
I am going to stay away from Michigan State because I love Jonathan Smith, and we've seen them in a 14 playoff.
We have, yeah.
Who'd you say after Maryland?
Nobody yet.
Okay.
Minnesota.
Minnesota, I would agree.
So Minnesota's out. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I think Nebraska's out.
I don't think I'd do that.
Definitely Northwestern.
Yeah, I'll give you Northwestern.
Purdue.
Yep.
Rutgers.
Yep.
UCLA.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah, I think you're. That's 8. That's 8 out of 18. Not even half the league.
So that's 10 that still have a fighting chance. You think?
I'm pretty good with Lance on
think
this.
those numbers are going to be about the same in the SEC.
Okay, give me the SEC, starting with Vandy.
Okay, Vandy, no chance.
We'll never win.
I'm
an
just going to
SEC
back it down.
championship.
South Carolina, no chance.
Never. Okay.
I mean, South Carolina has been in the game. Steve said, I know it was the East, Lance, but Steve Spurrier had him in the game against Auburn.
That's the point, right, Brown?
Yeah.
Is that
it's become more difficult for those
without
teams.
Divisions, you can't sneak into a one-game scenario.
Right. It's become more difficult for those teams to win a conference championship, but easier for them to get in the college football playoff. I mean, that's kind of the irony of this, I guess, is that teams like Ole Miss and South Carolina, you know, in some senses, I don't know about Ole Miss because they're losing some West games, but in some senses it's more difficult. I think for the East teams, like a Kentucky, a South Carolina, it's more difficult than it's ever been for them to win a conference championship. But they got a path to the playoffs.
Yeah. But to your point is, even though Georgia was a beast, if they beat Georgia,
they're there.
They were going to be in the game.
That's right. They could probably lose. They could lose a game, maybe two.
I want to flip back to the top now. Arkansas, I don't think we'll ever see that. Do you?
Again, I've seen them play in the conference championship game in my lifetime, so it's hard to say no.
Boy, how weak was the West back then?
It was terrible. I mean,
I'm going to go with Arkansas. Kentucky, not going to happen.
I agree.
Mississippi State, not going to happen.
I agree.
Missouri, not going to happen.
Again, I've seen them there twice, Lance.
Back
Same
to the
with South
East.
Carolina, yeah.
But you say that now. But
now, the first Missouri, 2013, were really good.
That's right. Yeah, the year they played Auburn in 13.
I want to say Ole Miss, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stop it there. So how many is that?
That's just
I only
6.
count 4. Oh, 6.
Vandy, South Carolina, Arkansas, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Missouri is who you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think all the other teams will win one.
Boy, Missouri, I'm surprised to hear you say that. You've had respect for that program.
I
love
do.
Gary Pinkel.
But Missouri to be able to navigate this schedule now, and not this schedule this year.
This schedule is actually beneficial to them.
But I still think Missouri in a one-game situation against whoever it would be this year, and this could end up being their best shot to maybe get to a one-game situation.
As good as they are, I want to pull up their schedule real quick, Jim, because as good as Missouri is, you know, I want to see what kind of... See, if they lost to Alabama, there's a chance that cost them a tiebreaker. You know what I'm saying? Like if Missouri lost to Alabama, and then let's say Georgia is undefeated, and then you got a group of one-loss teams, Alabama's going to hold that tiebreak over Missouri. So that would be terrible luck for them. That say that's their only loss. Their only loss is to Alabama, and you still don't go to Atlanta. If you're Missouri, you're like, I'm never going to get there. I mean, all I did was lose to Alabama.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or the Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
It's OG T-Shirt Friday here on the show. Hope you have yours ready to go. The original T-shirt from way back in day one, because we're closing in on our anniversary kickoff party coming up on August the 15th. LT off today, a little vacation day. I'm out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday as I squeeze in a little anniversary trip. Brownie's working until next Friday. He squeezes in one more day
Little
off.
anniversary trip.
Is it anniversary for you guys too?
Our anniversary is coming up on Monday.
On Monday.
Yeah, so we'll be coming off moving a kid back into college on Monday, so that's not going to be much of an anniversary, so we'll do the next weekend.
That's what we're doing, guys. She's in the middle of finals, so we pushed ours in to this weekend and the start of next week. So hope your summer's winding down into football, which was back on American television last night. And the game was shortened. There were some high points. Good to see John Mechie back out on the field after battling cancer. Good to see Mech back out there, former friend of the show there. Used to be with us every week when he was with the Crimson Tide. Good to see him out there. And then we saw the kickoff rule. Before we discuss the kickoff rule, can I just say one thing? Can I get just someone to give me an amen? Are we going to explain the kickoff rule every time? It was the first game, but I was tired of them explaining the kickoff rule in the first game. I'm already tired of it.
I get it. I hear you. I think week one, every crew is going to do it, though, don't you?
But are we still going to be doing it week 10? Because Rockstar,
I would not think so, no.
Rockstar used to make fun of this, right, Rockstar?
What are the overtime rules?
What are the overtime rules? In college football.
They both get a possession? Yes. Why are they starting so close to the goal line? Why are they doing another coin toss?
Rockstar
Why are they starting on that side of the field?
Rockstar used to kill it.
No, they do.
The same graphic when we go to the playoffs. You get the same graphic. The overtime in college football. Here we go.
They're just going for two every time now? That's what this is?
Here are the overtime rules. It was. Listen. It was.
I mean, what'd you think?
Well, part of it is going to be that my entire life on the planet, kickoffs have looked one way, and I did not. Remember the league that we were used to, the USFL, here in Birmingham, Spring League, had a normal kickoff rule.
Right.
And Daryl Johnston said, because Americans are used to seeing the kickoff. There's not a lot of action in them anymore, but they're used to seeing the kickoff. So when we went to the UFL, they brought the USFL kick rule. We still kicked it off. So here in Birmingham with our spring leagues, we haven't got used to seeing this. But the XFL markets and those that watch the XFL, I didn't, the new version, this is their kickoff rule. And you see it last night. I don't think it would bother me if we just got rid of the green box.
Well, I guess that's going to be on every telecast, you think? Or is that just as long as they're explaining the rule? Like
that's the receiving zone, Brown.
Yeah, but all you got to do is tell me the receiving zone's inside the 20. I'm not a complete idiot. I don't know I need a green box to realize I'm inside the 20. That was like when they, for a minute, I don't know if this was just for advertising or whatever, they would have a red line where the red zone starts. I'm like, I got that one.
Yeah.
I don't need you to tell me where the red zone is.
Knew where that one was.
Yeah, we're good on that.
Yeah.
I don't know, Jim. I don't know if you're going to get the green box every time.
Oh, I think we will. It just looks different. Like the clock. I'm not going to over exaggerate like I did last year. I thought the clock rules in college football. I thought by the end of week 2 we'd all be griping about them. By the end of week 2, I didn't even notice them anymore.
Yeah, I told you because I had to remind you that used to the clock would stop when you go out of bounds every time,
right?
And they changed that, and you never even noticed it.
I didn't, and I'm sure I lost a few games.
Didn't notice it,
but I didn't notice it. This is just different. It's just different because of the way it looks, and I'm sure I'll be used to it at some point. But eventually, it's going to come to college football. You can count on it.
Oh, I told you that yesterday. Yeah, like if you need to watch this kickoff situation because this will be your college football rule, and I would say 3 years.
I'd say next year.
Oh, you think they'll do it next year?
Yeah, there'll be such a study of injuries and such that they'll have it next year. Yeah, and you're right, CU Buff. Receiving zone brought to you by. You just go ahead and put your sponsor there.
I mean, it is tailor-made for advertisement. And of all people, we're not going to complain about that. But the NFL is normally pretty good at finding those.
Yeah, so I'd love to see you if you go to our social media account on Twitter at Next Round Live. Listen, a lot of you use that. Some of you are not following us there. So do me a favor today. When you get on X, just make sure you're following us at Next Round Live. At Next Round Live, hit that follow button there. That helps us out. Just like when you're watching us here on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. That helps us tremendously. That thumbs up does. And when you subscribe for us here on YouTube, that helps us as well. If you're watching on Instagram, please like us and follow us there. Same way on Twitter. Same way when you take us in on TikTok and everywhere else. We appreciate you so much. But Taylor has the old question. What do you think of the kickoff over there? I'd love to see what you guys think of the kickoff rule. Other than the look, how do you think it played out?
I mean, we still had some returns, not for a touchdown, but I mean, it wasn't just take knees, fair catches, kicks into the end zone.
But they brought them out. The ones I saw, they brought them out to about the 25-yard line.
Yeah.
Which is sort of where you get it when they kick it out of the back of the end zone.
I mean, at some point, I don't know if you'll ever get to the point where people just get the ball in the 25. We won't ever get there, will we?
No.
You don't think we'll ever get to where field goal is good, touchdown, scored, whatever, you get the ball in the 25?
I mean, if they were not worried about health, which you have to be, you do it the way the Canadian Football League does it, right?
How do they do it?
They have those big, long end zones, and if you don't bring it out, it's 1 point for the other team.
So there are no touchbacks then in the CFL.
If I'm right about the CFL, there's no touchbacks. You gotta bring, no matter how deep it is in that end zone, you gotta bring it out, man.
I mean, that's a 15-yard deep end zone, though, isn't it?
You gotta bring it out. Yeah.
Are they still 10-yard deep?
Yeah.
You want some mybookie.ag chat room response to it?
I would love to. Mybookie.ag chat room. I'm sort of with the moon over there that it sucks, but I'll get used to it because I love football.
Oh, I love football. It's not like I'm going to say, I'm not watching. Lamb I Believer says I just can't get into preseason football. By the way, before we get to that was the most preseason football game ever. You didn't have any starters playing hardly. Everybody was like, we're just going to play our backups. Hall of Fame game. We got 3 more preseason games after this. That's all we'll need. We're going to come do this because it's the Hall of Fame, and we're honoring, in the Bears case, Steve McMichael, right? Mongo. So, we're going to come do this. Don't really need the game, so we're just going to play a bunch of backups. And then midway third quarter, somebody was like, did you hear thunder? No. So somebody said there was a lightning strike within the state of Ohio. We're done here. Yeah. Game's over.
Yeah.
And you made the point like
Joe Buck had this announcement. The NFL is making me read this. I'm not going to say it, but you're going to hear it in my tone. The permanent lead stopped because of a decision by the NFL and by local authorities.
Yeah.
Local authorities.
Yeah, but to your point, it was like the equipment crews were packing it up and getting out. Every player was sprinting off the field. Yeah. Nobody was disappointed that thing was
That's
over.
What I told Brandon. I said, how many people were disappointed? Man, were they like, let us play, man. Let us play. No,
we
they were all ready
to
to go to the house. I felt bad for Cam Akers. I mean, Cam Akers.
He was having the game of his life.
Yeah, but he was playing late in the first half. He was still out there playing. I'm like, dang, Cam Akers, man.
Well, he's trying to earn his way on.
Yeah, but get him off the field. Guy's coming off an injury. Got some game left in those tires.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be out there playing in Canton.
Chris H., the new kickoff. I don't hate it, but I'm not sure I like it either.
That's a meh. Put that in the meh category.
Yeah, Lunceford on the back row. Just do the AAF and start at the 25 and eliminate kickoffs if you're going to start doing this. They did do that.
Yeah,
and I remember thinking, God, I'm going to hate that. But I remember watching the AAF games, and it wasn't offensive to me.
Well, let me ask you, Lunceford. I want you to close your eyes.
Can you see it?
Okay, you got your eyes closed?
Can you see it?
Okay, your eyes are closed.
Mm-hmm.
If we're just going to place it at the 25-yard line, when do I get to go? Roll Tide, roll, or War Eagle, or Go Dogs. Woo, 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 woo. When do I get to do all that crap?
Or Woo Soo Piggy.
Yeah, when do I get to do all that?
Yes.
When do I get to do that, Lunceford? If we're going to put it at the 25. Answer me that, U.S. Congressperson.
Okay, Jim, I have been going to Alabama games since 1991, and I've hardly missed a single home game. You know how many times I've ever done that?
Well, you're
Zero. I know I'm one of the few people in the stadium,
don't
so
act
I'm going
like,
to fight.
Don't act
no
like there's
kickoff.
not 99,999 more doing it.
I know there are,
Yeah.
but I don't care.
Yeah, Lunceford.
Okay,
I'm for bettering the game, and you know what? Nobody cares about kickoffs
Oh.
except for the 1% of time that you even get the ball past the 20-yard line.
Well, it's more than 1% in college. The NFL does not give you many kickoff returns for a touchdown. But, Lunceford, you will grant me that a kickoff return for a touchdown might be the most exciting play in all of football.
Oh, it's fun, and Kenyon Drake's return to the championship was incredible. But,
That's right.
like you said, this is coming to college, so let's just skip past all
you
of
bet.
that.
Yeah, you know,
and
you
just
better
go
get
straight
ready.
to what we're ultimately going to end up getting to.
No, I think the rugby girls at the Olympics showed us the way we're doing these kickoffs. There will be a guy that'll bust through that little line there and take it to the house very soon.
Tell me
I bet we'll get one in the opening weekend of exhibition.
Oh, and you get you a Reuben
NFL.
Foster, speeding bullet coming in there to make a tackle too.
Yeah.
But once again, it's very rare.
Tell me why on that rugby deal they didn't just drop all their girls back near the goal line. Why were they not in a prevent?
I don't know the rules.
I don't either, but does that make any sense to you? Like all that one girl had to do, all that old girl had to do was break that one line, and she was going for the game winner.
Yeah, 90 yards. I don't know.
Why do you not just defend the end zone?
Why did Nick Saban have all those fat kids out there on that long kick?
I don't know. Why did Auburn only rush two?
Why did Auburn rush two on a 4th and 31? Why was the band on the field? I don't know, Brownie.
Rusty, I hate it. Why are we changing the game? Let's see. I'm not going to read that one. Scott says a punt block TD is better than a kickoff return TD. I disagree with Scott on that one.
Scott Forster?
That is Scott Forster.
Back row?
Yeah.
Give me Forster's microphone. Say that out loud so you're on the record. Do you think a punt block touchdown is better than a kickoff return touchdown?
Yeah, I think punt block touchdowns are just visually one of the coolest things in the game.
So are you checking in just to your inner Aubie here and going pump Bama pump from 1972? What are you doing here?
Sure, Jim.
I mean, I guess you had a big one in 2006 that was the only team to beat Florida that year, right? That was a big punt block.
I'm kind of with Lunceford. I think maybe a punt return touchdown is better than a kickoff return touchdown. I would go with Lunceford on that. Punt return touchdowns are exciting.
In the air. I'm trying to think about my feeling. Okay, it's hanging in the air. I'm disappointed. I'm excited my team stopped on defense. Punts in the air. I catch it.
That's the
Am
thing.
I gonna go left?
That's
right?
the thing. Is a punt return touchdown. A kickoff return touchdown. You've just given up a score.
That's right. That's right.
So but a punt return touchdown. You've at least made a stop.
That's right.
Jeff says you do the roll tide. Excuse me. You do the roll tide when they go to commercial break. That's when you do the roll tide. The fans will be exhausted.
Yeah. Come on.
I
guess the official, when they're running the ball out, we can go roll, and when he sets it down on the 25, we go tide roll.
Yeah.
Or, woo,
Suey pig,
suey. I mean, we're going to lose a lot of stuff, man. We can take away these kickoffs.
No, we are, but I mean, at least this version of the rule is coming to college football. I guess we keep this permanently if there are just fewer kickoff injuries. I don't know what they're gauging here. What do you think they're gauging? Are they just gauging injuries?
That's exactly what they're doing.
I mean, if the
They're
NFL
saying they want more action in the play.
Well, if the NFL gets data back and says, "Hey, by the way, on kickoffs we had 0 injuries or 1 injury," they would say, "Well, that was a massive success. We'll never change this." Now, see, in the NFL, you just don't get a ton of kickoff returns that go anywhere. So I think if coaches are getting the ball in the 25, they're going to be pretty happy with that in the NFL. I don't think, like in college, if you eliminated the kickoff return for a touchdown, I think a lot of coaches would be upset because you get significantly more in college.
Yeah, we did get returns last night, so we'll see how it plays out. We'll let it play out.
I don't understand when you got a good kicker why you don't just kick it out of the back of the end zone every time anyway. I've never really understood that.
Well, because we got to the point, and Nick Saban, in our coaching show, back when I helped him with that, he explained one time that their goal on kickoff sometimes is to a lot of air, a lot of hang time, land the ball right at the goal line, forcing them to run it out. And this is before they put the fair catch rule in.
I was about to say, then college changed the rule on that one.
Before they put the fair catch rule in on kickoffs, but you try to a lot of air, a lot of hang time, make them catch it at the half-yard line. They got to bring it out. And remember how good Alabama was at tackling you inside the 20.
No, that was a significant strategy. It was a good strategy before they changed the rule. Yeah. But once they changed the rule on the fair catch, you may as well just bomb it out of the back of the end zone, give it to them on the 25. And in that case, what's the difference now? if we just give it to them on the 25. Like if every school started kicking it out of the back of the end zone,
the
at some point,
pageantry of kicking it out of the back of the end zone. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, there is pageantry that we do.
Kicking it out of the back of the
We
end
do
zone.
some things just for the pageantry.
Right.
You guys that do the Tour de France, help me out here. Do we actually race to the end, or is that last leg of the Tour de France? Is that not just a guy pedaling through the streets of Paris to the finish line? I don't think it's like ever a sprint to the finish line, is there?
Oh, I don't think. I mean, they race for like 2 weeks. I don't think it's ever close enough that it's like a battle to the finish.
Right.
I think this is his victory lap, right?
Yeah, like basically he's just okay. You basically have won. You take the lead here now, and you ride through the streets of France by yourself. I've never seen a photo finish at the Tour de France.
I don't think I have either. Now, I've got to tell you, I never watched the Tour de France, so I really am the last person you need to ask about this.
Yeah, me either.
I mean, the last winner I could confidently identify is Lance Armstrong.
Zach says, how many Tour de France guys and gals do we have on here right now?
That's going to be very low, Zach.
We've got a great guest lineup with us today. We'll hear from Clint Lamb, who's covering Alabama. He'll join us in the next segment at 9:25. EG will join us live from Auburn camp, day 2. She's with us at 11 Central. Rockstar's Floribama Lounge down at the Floribama. He'll be with us at a different time today, right after EG, in that opening segment to hour 3 at 11:15. And Zac Blackerby, who was on Uncorked last night with Taylor Korn, is live with us today at 11:45. Or as we like to say, getting Taylor's leftovers today on the show at 11:45. That's coming up on the show. That's being brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill. Hemp Hill brings you Lance's Lock, lanceslock.com. Had to play on the NFL game last night, lanceslock.com. Brought to you by Hemp Hill.
Hemp Hill Services, I'm going to say, unfortunately, I had to call them, but fortunately, it was Hemp Hill I called. My downstairs unit was out. They came to the house. It was just the capacitor, which is exactly what you want to hear. You don't want to hear it's new unit. They didn't try to pull one over on me. They just said, hey, it's just the capacitor. Good news, easy fix. Back up and running in 10 minutes. House nice and cold right now. Whether residential or industrial, Hemp Hill Services is your first call. If it doesn't flow right, run right, or drain right, 229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hemp Hill Services.
Don't hit it yet, but punch it up for me. Punch it up for me. Somebody's lost a lot of weight this summer.
Yeah, I was about to say, I saw this when Rockstar was running through the videos in the pre-show. He looks like he's dropped some lbs, Brian Kelly.
Yep. I'm guessing 40 to 50 pounds.
I was going to say 30, but you could sell me on 40.
40 to 50 pounds.
Yeah, he's dropped some lbs. There is no doubt about it.
And I'm not saying he's got the Ozempic face.
No, he does not yet.
He looks healthy.
Hey,
man.
but
he
man,
looks good.
Dropping lbs with the food they got down there, that's a tough call.
That ain't easy.
No.
I'm glad he's taking care of the family down there. But there you go. There's Brian Kelly. Let's hear from him. Brian Kelly, what still excites you about fall camp? Let's get fired up for football with Brian Kelly.
You've done this for more than 30 years as a head coach. What still excites you about the first day of practice, or the first few days of practice? Does it change from year to year or from team to team?
Oh, absolutely. I think the work that you do in the off season and all the preparation and, to watch your process take place over a period of time is what excites me. It's the development of your team and what they look like and how they handle themselves. I've told this story many times. My first camp in year 1, I had guys taking their helmets off and throwing them at each other. It was total bedlam, and now we're at that point where, they don't take their helmets off even, they know they're not supposed to take their helmets off for water breaks. And so, just seeing the development of your team is kind of what's exciting more than anything else.
You remember when LSU was going to have air conditioners in their helmets? You remember that story?
That may be why they're not taking them off.
I don't know.
Do.
When he said that, I thought about that, but I thought you never hear anything about that anymore. That was going to be such a revolution. It was going to be so revolutionary for them and
they had
revolutionary for them. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But how often did you hear about it?
No.
Not one time, man.
When we did it on the show last year, again, I thought, here we go. We're going to have air conditionings at LSU.
Yeah.
I hope Alabama gets them. Hope Auburn gets them. If not, we're going to lose the recruiting battle to the air-conditioned Tigers.
Air-conditioned helmets. Didn't really help LSU. They took a step back last year. So air-conditioned helmets, not great.
They did. A lot to get to in college football, but this LSU camp, a good day of work yesterday down at LSU. Oh, the old purple and gold out there catching those footballs.
Coca-Cola truck driving by, too.
Yeah. Good timing.
Yeah.
A good day of work.
Always
1 month
got
left until the
receivers.
season opener in Vegas, LSU, USC. One of those exciting helmet games. Can't wait to see that opener coming up on the Sunday of that first main opening weekend. We sit here today just a wonderful 22 days away from week 0 of college football, from that good Florida State Georgia Tech game over in Dublin, from our first game day with Nick Saban, just 22 days away. We'll talk to Clint Lamb about what's gone on the first 2 days at Alabama camp and where the Tide are as they get ready for the season. Show being brought to you by our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, UCA. Over 35 urologists on hand, 16 locations across the state of Alabama, treating all your urological needs. From prostate health to kidney stones, they'll take care of you. Guys, there's the number to make an appointment right now. Find a UCA location near you. Schedule that appointment, 205-930-0920, 930-0920, or urologycentersalabama.com, urologycentersalabama.com. Got to play with our buddy Andrew from the Heritage House over in Tuscaloosa and Josh yesterday on the golf course, Brownie and I. The worst 6 holes of golf I've played in 2 years, the first 6 holes, and then I sort of rallied back around.
Thank God you weren't my partner for those 6.
I know, I was at the end, but still lost money. I'm still trying to figure out how I lost that much money, but it was a good time of golf. Enjoyed those fine folks on the golf course. We enjoy our time with Clint Lamb. We will talk to him next as he joins us from the Bat Cave on the other side. This is TNR.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you, 969-8100 or Michelson. LaserVision.com.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Back with you on the next round. College football rolling closer and closer for us. One scene yesterday in Austin, Texas. New NIL deals. Michael Taff and a little guy that we like to call Isaiah Bond, who you know how I feel about the season he'll have, less than 1,000 in receiving yards at Texas this year. Okay. Got a Lamborghini deal. There's Isaiah at the bottom with his white and black Lamborghini.
How did we get to the point where Lamborghini was the deal? I mean, we accelerated quickly there, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, you can't. I mean, the Dodge Charger worked fine when it was under the table.
Yeah,
but now that's above board. We can't just roll around.
I mean, we went from a Dodge Charger to a Lambo. There are a lot of stops in between there.
Yeah, I must say I do like Isaiah's Lamborghini probably better than than Taft's at the top.
Well,
there.
Taft looks like he's about to deploy, and he's got some sort of special new Army deal.
Yeah,
I like Isaiah Bonds better. I would agree with you.
Yeah, but in the old days, if you were driving through a rival's town, you'd roll through the football complex when practice was going on and check out the cars and say, I wonder if that guy is really getting just his room and board. Clint Lamb joins us, Brownie. Let's talk to him about the Tuscaloosa parking lot. What's in the Tuscaloosa parking lot these days?
Some new cars. At Clint R. Lamb on Twitter is where you follow him. He was at Bama practice yesterday. Welcome in, Clint. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic, fellas. How you guys doing?
Doing awesome. Thanks a lot.
What kind of car are you in these days, Clint?
He's got his Lambo. He's got a Lambo deal.
Yeah, a little bit short of that. Actually, just got a new 4Runner, and I love it. I had an FJ Cruiser in high school that I loved. They don't make those anymore, so I kind of had to pivot. But I don't like the gas mileage as much, to be honest with you guys. But it's a good ride.
4Runners are good. I've had 4Runners.
Yeah.
They work fine.
I just
keep them a long time if you want to.
I just jumped into a Ford, an F-150, my friend. So
that's one of those trucks. Every time I see one in a parking lot, I got to point it out because it is probably the best looking truck on the market, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, we have no endorsement deal. You don't have to really jump into it. If you don't like it, you can say something.
I like the way Clint played the game, though.
Oh yeah. I mean, if Jim's mentioned it, it must be.
That's what I could be honest about.
Yeah. If you hate him, go ahead. It's no endorsement there.
So Clint, you were at practice yesterday, and these first couple of practices, you saw a lot of Nick Saban practices. So when you go to these first couple of Alabama practices, just how different is it from a Nick Saban practice?
It's definitely different with the music. That's something that we kind of got used to in the spring, though. I think, the vibe of the practice, right? I mean, it feels like there's a little bit more. I'm not saying that there wasn't energy at Nick Saban practices, but I feel like guys are having a little bit more fun, but it's also, laser focused. And I think that that's a really good combination. Guys can be a little bit more relaxed. If you think about the last couple of years, Nick Saban talked a lot about the anxiety of certain guys and just how that kind of affected the team. With this group, I think they're a little bit more relaxed. They're having fun with it, and I think that's going to make a big difference. But just the overall talent, you go around to the different position groups, kind of looking at different guys, and it's evident that it's still one of the most talented rosters in all of college football. It's a matter of where they, how do they come together in certain places and how that affects things on Saturday. But it's going to be a very good football team.
Listen, EG asked a question in the group of Kane Womack about pressure of the quarterback and off the edge. I'll ask you, replacing the likes of Dallas Turner and the tradition that you've had coming off the edge, Will Anderson, all those guys in recent Alabama history, or even back to where I'm a kid. I mean, Derek Thomas, you can go all the way back. What do you see off the edge from Alabama this year? Do they have the next generation of guy that can step up?
Well, they have a ton of options, and I think that's the number one thing. Like, Womack's answer, whether he was talking about Bandit or Wolf, he listed, it was almost the entire depth chart at both positions. And I think that that's not just him naming guys to name guys. I think they have a lot of quality bodies out there, and it's just determining who's going to end up being the starters, what's the rotation going to look like. But a player that we've heard a lot of really good things about is Quay Russo, and just being a former 5-star player, kind of, a little bit of the lack of length, I think, showed up a little bit on film and on his high school film at times, but he compensates for it because he's just such a relentless, powerful player who has elite closing speed and a great motor. Really fun to watch. That's a guy who a lot of us at this point are assuming he's going to take a step forward. Will he end up being the starter? Probably not. I think Quandarius Robinson or Keanu Coote will probably lead the way there. They're the veterans. But having a rotation, I'll be curious to see how much they rotate, because last year, the last couple of years, they were able to get, 3 guys on the field, Will Anderson, Chris Braswell, and Dallas Turner. Last year, it was mostly just the Dallas Turner and Chris Braswell show. And so they limited that rotation. Now you have the Bandit playing one of your edges pretty much, on every down. That's going to make, those typical edges that we've seen in the past, it's going to cut down on their snaps a little bit. And so I'll be curious to see what the rotation looks like, but it's a high upside group. And the one question mark that I have about it is there's nobody that's established. They've got experience and they've got a lot of young talent, but at this point, there's no one that you look at if you're an offensive coordinator and you're terrified of them, like you were with Dallas Turner and even Chris Braswell last year. So really it's just about establishing those guys. But once they can do that, I think they got some effective interior pass rushers, and I certainly think they got a lot of bodies out there on the edge as well.
Clint Lamb is with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. At Clint R. Lamb on Twitter is where you find him. In that same press availability, media availability, Kane Womack said Keon Saab, I'm going to quote it here, is a very special talent. You're limited in what you can see, but from what you saw and what you gather from the sources you talk to, why is Kane Womack saying that? What has Saab done that has impressed him so much?
Well, I just think his ability to pick up on the terminology, the fact that he's a student of the game. And I think if you're going to play safety, that needs to be a primary requirement in order to be, at the top of your game. A guy like Malachi Moore, it's a new system compared to what he had under Nick Saban. It's a different position. He's been making some transitions, but, he's a guy that's been around for a while. Saab was kind of, a newcomer, and he's looking to replace or be the replacement for Caleb Downs, who, in my opinion, even though he was at Alabama for just 1 year, one of the best safeties to ever come through Tuscaloosa. So that's a big shoes to fill, but I think he's done an excellent job of that. He can play closer to the line of scrimmage. He's extremely physical. He has a little bit of range. He's probably going to be playing that rover position, not that, single high deep safety like Malachi Moore's going to be doing. But when you look in Kane Womack's defense, the last couple of years, their rover at South Alabama last year led the team in interceptions with 4. The year before, it was the Husky, Yam Banks. He led the team with 6. And so those guys those safety hybrids that can kind of play closer to the line of scrimmage, they've typically seen a lot of opportunities in Kane Womack's defense. And I think that Saab's definitely got the potential to take advantage of that. And if that ends up happening, I think that Malachi Moore and him can, emerge as probably one of, if not the best safety tandems in all of college football.
Not a newcomer, not a transfer from Washington or a first-time recruit or a portal guy. Somebody was in that Alabama wide receiving room last year that benefited the most from the change of offense of Kalen DeBoer and his system, Nick Sheridan coming in to call plays. Which one of the guys that was in the Bama receiving room last year benefited the most from the change, you think?
I would have said Jalen Hill, just because I think his ability to win vertically downfield, that's something that you see with the fact that, Kalen DeBoer and company like to press the ball vertically. He's got that. And that's one of the questions that I have about this wide receiver room in general. You got to get a lot of guys that can separate when at the second and third or the first, second, or third level. But when you need a ball winner, I know Alabama fans probably aren't going to like the comparison, but when you need a Seth Williams to bail out Bo Nix like they had in 2019 and 2020, do you have that guy? I've actually told a lot of people I feel like that the loss of Amari DeBlock is going to be a much bigger impact on Alabama's offense than Isaiah Bond.
Agreed.
Because of what he provided for that offense. You got guys that can replace what Isaiah Bond did for your offense. You really can. I'm not saying they're all going to be day one talents like he is necessarily, but those elements, they have guys. But, I think that Kendrick Law and just the fact that he provides a lot of that as far as his versatility. One thing I'll give Kalen DeBoer and the rest of that coaching staff a lot of credit for is their ability to build the offense around the talent that they have. And a guy like Kendrick Law being kind of this unicorn where he's not like super long, but he's got a great build. He's extremely strong, extremely powerful, but he's also got elite top end speed. You can do a lot of different things with him as far as lining him up inline, slot, putting him on the outside, let him win vertically. And so I really think he's going to benefit from this Kalen DeBoer offense. Now, granted, one thing we haven't seen from him up to this point is can he be a volume guy? We didn't really see it a ton in high school, and we haven't seen it, at Alabama. So can he do that aspect of it? And if he can, I think he's going to end up being a fantastic player. But then you've got the young guys like Ryan Williams and Caleb Odom Odom can certainly fill that size void, but the reason I think Amari Black's such a big loss is Odom's a freshman and you don't know what you're going to get out of him compared to Black, who is going to be a third-year player and really is a guy you can kind of move around and do different stuff with as well. But I think a lot of people are sleeping on this Alabama wide receiver room, and I think that they got a lot of talent. It runs deep, and I think Kalen DeBoer knows how to use them.
This is a horribly unfair question to ask 2 days into camp, but it is not going to stop me from asking it. If Clint Lamb took a stab at the starting receiver rotation right now, what would you do?
Okay, I definitely would go Jeremy Bernard.
Okay.
You know, I kind of project him as the X. I think he's going to be the focal point or one of the focal points of the offense. I think Kendrick Law and what he provides, whether it be his own skill set or what he can do for others, I think he's going to certainly be involved. You know, Kobe Prentice is that slot guy, and he's been in, a huge part of the offense the last couple of years. I think he continues to have a major role, but I think we're not talking enough about Ryan Williams. That's a guy early on. I mean, he's supposed to be going into a senior year of high school, and how ready do you really think that he is to make a major impact from day one, considering he's a year younger than most of the freshmen that get there? But the more we've heard from guys around the Alabama camp, he's a special talent, and I think he ends up being involved a little bit earlier than I was originally anticipating. And if he can do that and he continues to build and get more comfortable on this level, what can he be by the end of the year? So while I wouldn't put him in the starting lineup right now, I do think he's going to be involved. I think the first couple of weeks of the season is a great opportunity to get him some good looks and get him comfortable playing on this level. And then from there, who knows where it can go. He can end up being one of the focal points of the offense, but they've been very impressed with him so far in Tuscaloosa.
So Clint Lamb has covered Alabama for quite a while, most recently with On3 Sports and Bama Online. They do tremendous work there. You guys know we're fans of On3. Bama Online has done great work for years. But Clint has recently left Bama Online, and many of you probably are like, oh, crap, where do I get Clint Lamb content now? You'll know that next week, won't you, Clint? You'll know it, and everybody else will know it. Well, actually, you already know it, but everyone else will know it next week.
Yeah, I think we got a little bit of a surprise coming, and I'm looking forward to it. One thing, by this point, I've covered Alabama for such a long time. I got a little too much Bama in me at this point to be covering anybody else. So I'm excited to start this next adventure.
Yeah, a new adventure for Clint Lamb.
You got a new job? New car, new job.
That's right.
It's a different world. Ever since I got married, all these good things start happening. It's incredible how that happens.
Oh,
wow.
Look at that. Yeah.
New job, new girl, new car.
I probably should have listed the wife first.
Yeah, probably so. But that's okay. I set you up for the job. So major announcement next week. Clint will be part of that, and we'll tell you what that is next week. Clint, have a great weekend, man. We appreciate the time as always.
Absolutely, fellas. Good talking to you guys.
All right, buddy. Take care. Clint with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. That is going to be, you'll hear that announcement with us next week.
Our show brought to you in part by our friends at Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the provider that gets you back into the game, whether it's tweaks, pulls, pains, or breaks, whether it's a family member or whether it's yourself. You're out there trying to do Ryan Williams-like things, Caleb Odom-like things in a Nerf football game with the kids, and you end up breaking something, pulling something, or tweaking something. They'll get you back to work. Diagnose it, treat it, and rehab it. That's their goal there. From Jasper to Alabaster and all around the Birmingham metro area, Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Listen, you got to stay active. Stay active deep into the calendar of your life, right? But you're going to have some tweaks and pulls along the way. You're pushing the limit. That's what these folks do. They get you back, and they help you rehab through the process. Orthopedic care, better together. Find your provider today, 205-512-3885, 205-512-3885, precisionsportsortho.com/2024. Now, everyone in the chat room's all excited about an announcement.
Well, they'll have to wait till next week, Jim.
I am not here Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
Well, you might miss it.
Do you know a day of the announcement?
I would say early in the week. I would say you're probably not going to be here for it.
Okay, I will not be here.
Well, we'll
whatever announcement Clint's going to have later in the show. E.G. from Auburn, Rockstar's Floribama Lounge, and Zac Blackerby will be with us. One more college note right here. Preseason ACC Player of the Year. Who is it in your opinion, Brownie? ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference preseason player of the year. Cade Klubnik is back at Clemson.
He is indeed. I'm going to say.
It's not him.
I'm going to say, and I brought this up. I teased this one day when you were out sick, and you know how the show goes. A lot of times you tease things, you never get to them because we get off on tons of tangents here. If you take last year's leading passers and you eliminate all the guys that are going from college football, the returning leading passer, this is in terms of yards per game, there are a lot of categories, is Cam Ward. Now, he goes from Washington State to Miami, and as Luganville pointed out, when I said, yeah, different offense, Luganville's like, it's not really a different offense, different place, not a different offense. A lot of what he was doing at Washington State, he'll be doing at Miami. I think Cam Ward is the answer.
Cam Ward is the answer for Miami.
That?
He is the player of the year preseason in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
If he lives up to that, Miami is absolutely a playoff contender. I mean, we have talked so much about that opening game against Florida. If he plays ACC player of the year level in that game, Florida has absolutely got their hands full. But, Jim, they play Florida State. They do not play Clemson. And they host Florida State for whatever that's worth, playing in Hard Rock Stadium. I think, if they're good, the fans get behind them there. Their road games are, in conference anyway, Cal, Louisville, Georgia Tech, and Syracuse. Not exactly a killer road schedule for them either. And they don't face Clemson until potentially the ACC championship game. If he plays to that level, Miami is absolutely a playoff contender.
Kickoff party coming up August 15th. Kickoff just 22 days away. Cam Ward, your ACC Player of the Year. ACC dominates Week 0 with that Georgia Tech, Florida State conference matchup in Dublin, Ireland. Over in Dublin, should be a lot of fun there. We roll on. The show being brought to you by Dr. B. When we come back, a little bit more college football for you. As we'll hear from Hugh Freeze, day 2 of Auburn camp. More from Kalen DeBoer. We've got Kirby Smart coming up a little bit later on in the show. And, how about a little Sark for you?
Oh, Steve Sarkisian meets the media.
Around the SEC as we roll on today.
Yeah, if you want to grow your hair back the way Lance and I are doing it, Dr. B is the place to go. T3 Hair Preservation, T3hair.net. Dr. B, one of the best guys you'll ever meet, an aficionado on Mafia in New York City and The Sopranos. You can talk to him about that, but you also talk to him about growing your hair back. Scott's showing you video of the consultation I went through. Lance went through a similar consultation. The thing about what they do at T3 Hair is it's not just one size fits all. They don't bring you in and say, here's what you're doing. They bring you in, they do some genetic testing. They talk to you about various, first of all, your goals, various ways of doing it. He's showing you the infrared light that Lance and I are using. Very easy, just 30 minutes a day, 3 days a week. Fits right on your head. You can even hide it under a cap should you choose to do so. Do it right there in the house. So easy. It grows the hairs back at the follicle level. I mean, I'm just telling you, it works. It doesn't work for everyone. He's going to be honest with you. But if you are in that window where you can still grow your hair back, Dr. B can help you. T3hair.net for that evaluation like Lance and I did. Start growing your hair back naturally with our guy, Dr. B. T3hair.net. Dr. Michael Beckenstein, T3hair.net.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for The Next Round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. And MLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
I'm here with my good friend Jon Lunceford of Lunceford Furniture to tell you about special values on some super comfortable seating. What you got, John?
Lance, every year we stock up on great comfort items like Lazy Boy recliners and sofas so that our customers can be ready for fall and football. This year is no different. We've made special purchases that will deliver great value to Next Round listeners and give them the most comfortable seat in the house. And as always, we've got the best prices in the state on Lazy Boy and the best selection anywhere.
That's awesome. We all know from years of shopping with you guys that Lunceford Furniture is the home for Lazy Boy value. Bright Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Hey, back with you on the Next Round. As we, this is mind-blowing to me, by the way. Since 2000, we're waiting to see what USC and UCLA and Oregon and Washington are going to do in the Big Ten, and Texas and Oklahoma is going to end up doing in the SEC, SMU in the ACC, Cal and Stanford. Since 2000, these numbers from The Athletic, by the way. Since 2000, all the teams that have realigned and changed conferences, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 first seasons. So 15 teams in a new season when they move to a power conference.
Okay.
How many of those 15 had a losing record that first year of the 15? I'm going to say 500 or losing record even. Doesn't change the number, but just to add a little bit more emphasis to it.
I would say 7 of the 15.
7 of the 15. Shockingly, 2.
Only 2 of 15 had a losing record. Now, this goes back how far?
To 2000. So this takes out Arkansas, South Carolina,
But
Penn State.
I think Utah is one of them, if I remember correctly. I think it was tough for them when they first went to the Big 12.
You mean to the Pac-12?
I mean to the Pac-12, excuse me. Yes.
Utah was 8-5 their first year. That was 2011.
Swing and a miss by me.
Okay, here we go. These are the 2 losing records.
All right.
Colorado was 3-10 in 2011.
Okay, if I'd have thought long enough, I probably would have gotten to that one because they were pretty bad.
3-10.
Yep.
They've only had 1 top 25 finish since they moved to the Pac-12.
And now they're Big 12.
Now they're back to the Big 12.
So basically they had 1 top 25 finish in their entire Pac-12 life, is what you're telling me.
While we're in the what was the Pac-12 expansion, Utah was 8-5 that first year. They have had 6 top 25 finishes since 2011 in their move to the Pac-12.
Yeah, I mean, Utah's been good. I just remembered it taking them a minute to get going in the Pac-12. Like, if you'll give me a second, I'll look it up. Because I think like they were 8-5, but I think they had some 4-win seasons right after that. I think it was a little bit of a rough transition for them.
They did dip a little bit.
Yeah.
The other one was in the SEC. It was Missouri, 5-7 the very first year.
I remember them being better coming into the conference.
Well, they came in 2012, but it was 2013 and 14.
They were good quick.
When they were really good in Atlanta, right? For both of those years.
Yeah. They played Auburn. They played Auburn in 2013 and then Alabama in 2014.
That's right.
Yeah.
5-7 the first year. They've had 3 top 25 finishes since their move over to the SEC in 2012, 2013, 2014, and last year.
So it's far more successful than I would have envisioned. I thought about half had a losing record. It seems like it's been a much more difficult transition now.
The other SEC was Texas A&M that year, 11-2.
Oh, they were great.
Only 4 top 25 finishes since they moved over in 2012.
Oh, their first team in the SEC is the best team they've had in the SEC.
Yep.
Their very first one. That team was maybe the second or third best team in the country that year.
Big Ten expansion. Nebraska 9-4 that first year in 2011. Since then, only 2 top 25 finishes since 2011 for Nebraska.
Look, I don't think anybody's surprised that Nebraska has not played well of late.
In 2014, when Rutgers and Maryland came in, Rutgers was 8-5 that first year. Remember, Schiano had them good. He's got them good again this year. No top 25 finishes for them since they've been in the Big Ten. Maryland, 7-6 that first year, but no top 25 finishes for them since they've moved to the Big Ten.
I'm not surprised by that.
TCU and West Virginia to the Big 12. Both of them were 7-6 the first year in 2012. West Virginia's finished in the top 25 since 2012 only twice,
right?
Which is below what that program deserves.
I would agree.
TCU's finished top 25 4 times. And in the ACC, Boston College was 9-3 their first year. Remember, that was back when they were kicking it. They were killing it. 3 times they finished in the top 25, but none since 2007.
Yeah. So let's start here. Number 1, let's go with all. Let's go the major ones.
By the way, Louisville 9-4, Miami 9-3, Pitt 7-6, Syracuse 7-6, Virginia Tech 10-3. 10 times since joining the ACC in 2004, they finished in the top 25.
So UCLA going to the Big Ten, you expect them to have a losing season? Yeah, I'm surprised if they don't.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they don't. I'm cheering for a 6-6.
Washington, it's gonna be tough. I don't think they'll have a losing season.
It's gonna be close.
USC, you don't expect to have a losing season. It'd be a remarkable disappointment in Oregon. There's almost no way they'd have a losing season. Okay. Texas, there's no way. Oklahoma is going to be difficult. I don't think they'll have a losing season, though.
I don't either. Could get juicy, but I think they're going to be better. Tough schedule, but they're going to beat some people.
Colorado to the Big 12, I think they will have a losing season, so we're up to at least 2 right now, probably.
Maybe gets juicy, but no.
Arizona State, I don't think will. Arizona, I don't think will.
I don't think Arizona State will have a winning record.
You don't think they'll have a winning record? So that's 3.
I think Arizona State could end up being one of the worst Power 5 teams this year. Yeah.
So not a winning record. Do you think they could be?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Arizona, you think will be better than a losing record, right?
I do, yeah.
Cincinnati? Are they already in the Big 12?
Yeah, they're already in. They didn't come in.
So I've got all the extra ones.
Yeah. No, see
those. So you think we could have maybe 3? There's only been 2 since 2000.
No. If you go to the guys that joined the Big 12 last year, I did not. I excluded those because that was so recent. The main expansion before. I think they all had losing records last year, right? BYU did. Cincinnati, UCF. I mean, I think they all struggled. That new Big 12 class, was that last year or 2 years ago? I think it was last year.
Yeah.
They all struggled. They were excluded from that. This was
so I think you'll add a few this year.
The most recent big round of expansion. So we'll see. But a lot of them have had great success there. Great success. Show being brought to you by our friends at Inverness Country Club. Inverness Country Club, one more big thing to get here.
If you're looking for a club home, Inverness Country Club is a great place for you. Great young families have been joining Inverness Country Club for quite a while right now, and they've got a lot to offer. They offer a great golf course, first of all, great tennis facility, great pool facility. They also have childcare. You need to lunch meeting, dinner meeting. You want to go play 9 holes, need to get in a little bit of tennis. You can take care of that. Great childcare, great fitness center. It is all right there at Inverness Country Club. Inverness Country Club in the Birmingham area, down 280. Great golf course. Call Aaron today, 991-8608. That is 205-991-8608 about their pricing and to maybe get a tour and see if Inverness Country Club is the place for you.
All right. I told you about the rings that Washington handed out for their championship season and run to the national championship, and that they shipped them to Tuscaloosa for the folks that were part of that run. Courtney Morgan, the great general manager for Kalen DeBoer's staff over there, posted on social media last night. This is the look. There's the championship rings there. 2 of them in the package, just like I called on the air. Pac-12 champion and Sugar Bowl champion.
Good-looking rings.
Good-looking rings. Comes in that nice case that sometimes you keep on the shelf or on the desk there. But good-looking rings there for the championship seasons there at Washington. Courtney Morgan, part of that staff with Kalen DeBoer now in Tuscaloosa. Kalen got them, and Sheridan, and some of the players got theirs shipped to them as well in one big package. So those things from Seattle to Tuscaloosa, and we'll see what they do in Washington now. But that championship pedigree now sitting over in Tuscaloosa with the guys who made the trip to take over that program. Before we get to the top of the hour, I want to ask you guys about your television viewing for this season, because we'll need Lunceford, at least Lunceford's microphone on the back here, to jump into this conversation. I'm trying to think of, and Forrester, jump in with me. How many TV shows does anyone watch that they don't stream now?
It'd be zero for me.
Yeah, but I mean, you stream your direct TV, right?
No, but I'm saying, like, in the sense you're asking.
Yeah.
The only thing I watch on traditional television.
Right.
So I'm DirecTV stream, to your point.
Right.
That is my service. But the only thing I watch that's not a streaming service is live athletic events.
Yeah.
You know, I might catch The Zone Sunday nights on ABC 3340.
Yeah, obviously. Me too. I mean, it's a
I don't ever watch that.
Of course you don't, Lunceford, loser.
So same for you, Lunceford?
Well, I mean, I watch like all the Gordon Ramsay cooking shows that are on Fox, but I never watch them on Fox. I usually watch them a day or two after on Hulu.
On Hulu.
So
okay.
If that doesn't count, then it's the same for, like, I watch Family Guy and The Simpsons, but that's till like after the fact. So
yeah, okay. I'm a YouTube TV guy, which is up, I think, now to $84 a month. What was it when we started YouTube
but it
TV?
was such a great deal.
40.
It was like 40 something.
It's like $35.
Yeah, I think mine, when I jumped on late, I think it was 44. It's now 84. But I'm like you guys. I mean, I've got every streaming service, and I watch stuff on Netflix. I watch stuff on Paramount. I watch stuff on Hulu. The only thing I really watch over traditional television, even though I'm even streaming my TV, is sports. The new Venue Sports package, which has ESPN, Fox, and TNT, all the TNT stuff that they'll have, the non-networks, but even your ABC, I think, will be on ESPN. Fox is here as well. Venue Sports, packaged together, $42.99 a month. $42.99 a month. I'll start with you, Lunceford and Forrester. Does that price surprise you, high or low? And should I be interested in this? Do I drop my YouTube TV to jump on my Venue Sports stream and get all the sports instead of the YouTube TV? Lunceford, you first. Does $42.99 surprise you?
Yes. I know ESPN was the majority of like cable packages and stuff, and so they're trying to make up for that. But I'll pay double and get YouTube TV, but I do get literally everything else with that, including networks that I'm not going to get with this. So
this is getting me only those three networks:
ESPN, Fox, and TNT. Just your sports.
Just my sports on those networks.
Yeah. So that means you'll get all the ESPN production, which is all your ABC, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, ESPN Plus.
Any live sporting event.
Yeah. Fox is all your Fox, FS1, FS2, Fox Plus, or whatever.
Right.
But you won't get like TNT shows movies and stuff, so you won't get that on there.
You'll get all the TNT sports.
And you don't get networks, so you don't get NBC, anything that they have.
No, you get that on Peacock.
I mean, but that's another service, but you also get that through YouTube.
But I'm already paying that on Peacock.
So it's not worth it.
I don't think it's worth it either. So do I get, I mean, I know you may not have all these answers. Do I get Sports Center? Or do I just get live sporting events?
I assume I get Sports Center.
Do I get Big Noon Kickoff? Do I get Game Day?
And do I get ESPN Plus?
Do I get ESPN Plus?
I'm sure I do, yes.
I mean, these are all important questions.
I don't know that you would.
Oh, I think you do.
I mean, I don't know, but
well, see, I'm already in the Disney bundle, Lunch. I'm getting Hulu, Disney Plus, and what's the third thing I get in that bundle that I never use?
Disney, ESPN Plus.
Oh yeah. My kids use Disney Plus, or my little one uses Disney Plus. So I get that. So that gets me ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
Caleb,
you're right. You do not get local Fox.
No,
it's just all sports. This is Venue.
Yeah,
sports.
so you're missing most of Fox, really and truly, because sports is a small part of that. And then TNT, you're missing all of TNT except for when they show, I guess, NBA games and
they
so wait a minute. So
and I guess they have hockey.
All right, but and I know you don't know all these answers, but if I buy this, it doesn't include the Fox NFL games that I'm getting in my market. I still need an antenna for that, or I've got to pay another service for that.
No, I would imagine I'm getting.
Well, if I don't get local Fox, do I get the Fox Big Noon Kick?
Yes.
Says that with such confidence.
Yes.
No, I mean I don't believe
Yeah.
Dunaway.
Sir, do you want the package or not?
I know. I mean,
I'll try to get more details for you.
Does this come with the undercoating, or do I have to pay extra for that? I get oil changes for life.
I was a little surprised at the price. I'll be honest with you. I thought it was going to come in around $22. Forrester, what price did you think? I mean, $42.99 seemed to be a little juicy for me.
Yeah, that's just not enough. I don't think you're getting enough for that.
Well, on the Fox end, and I don't mean to keep harping on this, but if I don't get whatever game is on Fox 6 here in Birmingham, it is absolutely not worth it to me.
I don't know, but I would imagine you get one Fox NFL game in a window, or you wouldn't be getting the Fox Sports
That's
package.
what I'm saying.
So the release from ESPN about it says it will include games from the NFL. Now, I assume at least for ESPN, that's Monday Night Football.
Well, it's Monday Night Football. Everybody gets that.
And it says the platform includes offerings from 14 linear networks: ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, SEC Network, ACC Network, ESPN News, ABC, Fox, FS1, FS2, Big Ten Network, TNT, TBS, True TV, as well as ESPN Plus. So you do get ESPN Plus with it, but it does not specifically say, oh, you get the Fox NFL game on there.
Yeah, I think you will, Brown. I think.
Yeah,
you
I mean,
will.
the way it should work
by your
is
zip code, you will get.
That's right. I get
being
whatever
shown.
Fox 6 is showing here in town, and then I get the national game as well.
Yeah. But this is what is scary for local television is that there's going to be a way for them to get anything that is on Fox 6 or anywhere else, 1342 in our market here, CBS, without having to pull it over the air. And we like supporting the local, local TV networks.
And I love, like, my boy Hardison at Fox 6, Jonathan Hardison.
Yeah.
But, I mean, here's the other thing, and all my people at ABC 30 through 42 and 13 and all those people.
Me too.
42.
Same for me. I love
So
everyone.
we love everyone.
I'm not going to bore you with the entire list.
John Express Oil Change.
John Express Oil Change is a terrific guy. He tells me I need wiper
His
blades.
assistant Randy,
Yeah.
can't forget Randy.
But
And I don't want to leave out our friends at the PBS.
Yeah.
PBS Public Television.
Yes.
You guys,
If you could give right now, that would really help.
I'd like to keep you live on the air.
Here's the thing, though, Dunaway. I think what they're counting on, you say it's scary for them, and it probably is, but what they're also counting on is people looking at what we just discussed to be like, or I could just pay YouTube TV, and I'm sure I get all those things.
Yeah.
You know?
And I will say this again for my local television networks here, Power and the People. I think it cost me $32 to get this really cool antenna that I just plug in the back. I don't have to put it on top of my house. I don't have to put it in the attic. I don't have to hang it out a window. I just screw it in the back there, and it just sort of sits there in my sports room. I'm going to get 2 more here in a couple of days for 2 more TVs. And first of all, you get it 20 seconds, 30 seconds faster than social media gets it. So if you happen to be looking at Twitter and not the ones at the game, but it's almost exactly the same time as the ones at the game, the picture is clearer.
It's supposed to be the best HD.
Your HD is better when you're pulling it off the air. It's the way television was intended to be viewed.
Are you getting true 4K?
If I choose to do that, I would be getting true 4K. I don't know if I do that or not, but
I'm saying, like,
I do have a 4K television, and if they're broadcasting 4K,
that's what I'm asking you.
I
don't
getting
know.
it. Yeah,
I don't think they are. I don't think most stuff's broadcasting in 4K right now.
Do I wish 3340 would sort of bump their antenna like one notch to the right?
Do I need to let them know Sunday night when I'm there?
It's like
Jim Dunaway needs.
It's like I'm on channel 68.2 or something. Like just a little tweak there, but it's all really good. So I don't know. I don't think I'm going to get this Venue Sports thing. I thought I was at one point, but not at $42.
Well, that's going to be the cheapest you'll ever get it. So if you want it, get it now.
I know.
It'll only go up from there.
Because if it's $42.99 now,
right.
like my YouTube TV, this time next year it's going to be $84.99.
$84.
Yeah. All right. Top of the hour show being brought to you by our friends at Hydra Live. Hydra Live, great time. I'm drinking from our friends at Coca-Cola, the wonderful Body Armor Flash IV, staying hydrated. Heat index last couple of days has been well over 100 degrees out there. It'll drain you. Hydra Live gets you ready for the big events in life, but also just the regular routines. Be a member there. Enjoy the cryotherapy, the compression therapy, the vitamin injection therapy, and of course all the IV treatments that we talk about all the time with our friends at Hydra Live. Great locations everywhere here in the area. Become a member with our friends at Hydra Live IV. Back in a moment on TNR.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. While we're changing the game yet again, Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the next round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Boy, I hope our friends at CBS Sports aren't going to do this every week, but they rank, it's the CBS 134. They may do it every week, and I just don't notice it. All 134 teams in college football. I mean, when I did the AP poll, I don't know how you felt. I mean, I was very happy as the season went on, and I didn't have to consider some teams for the rankings ever again.
Right.
But to have to rank them all the way to 134 would be something I would not sign up for. But their top 5 and our preseason top 5, about the same. Same 5 teams, just a little bit of different order. We went Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, Alabama, Oregon. When I say we, all of us, all of you watching our viewer poll. CBS 134 goes Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Alabama. We had Auburn 26. CBS 134 has Auburn at 37. Surprisingly, just one spot ahead of Florida at 38. Feel like Auburn's a little underrated in the CBS poll.
So that would have you with what record, would you imagine? Those 2 spots, 7-5?
Yeah, I mean, that'd be good for Florida. And
I think Florida would take 7-5 right now.
Disappointing for Auburn.
I bet you Billy Napier would take 7-5 and not play the season. His problem is going to come in that 7-5, a lot of those 5 are going to be in the last month and a half of the season, and that's gonna be a tough ending for him.
Lowest SEC team, Vandy at 91. Worst teams in college football, Kennesaw State, 133. There's one team ranked worse than Kennesaw State at 134. Guesses around the table, back row, Forrester first. Kennesaw State new to Division I at 133. CBS has one team worse than Kennesaw State. Your guess is? Lunceford, do you have a guess yet? Lunceford's microphone, Rockstar?
Ball State.
Ball State. Incorrect. Good guess, though. I like that. A good guess.
I think they're the lowest rated team on College Football 25. That's why I said that.
Are they really?
I think so.
Yeah.
Forrester, a guess yet? Timely show.
Wow.
Name a team.
Vandy. It's not Vandy, but
No.
I'll go Vandy.
Vandy is 91.
Jacksonville State.
Oh, come on, Luntz. They're going to
blas-
contend for Conference USA.
blasphemous.
I don't know what Luntz has against me today.
Brownie,
What?
you got a guess?
I love you, Brown.
Thank you, Lunsford. I love you, too. I don't have one, no. Who is it?
It is
Kent State.
ULM. Louisiana
That
Monroe.
is the weirdest thing. I was looking at standings. They are the very last team listed on the standings page. I was almost going to say that just because of it.
Yep.
Really? It's ULM?
ULM. Dead last.
Ooh.
Is that where our former UAB coach?
Yeah. Is that where Brian Vincent is?
Is that where Brian Vincent is?
I think he is.
Oh, God bless him.
So he's about to. Yeah, he's a head football coach at ULM.
At the worst program in the country, according to CBS.
I know the answer to this before I say it. Have you looked at their schedule?
Brown, this is you, man. You're the look at the schedule guy.
Yeah,
I
I've
have
never
not,
understood why that bothers you.
I have
but
not looked at
would
ULM's
Would you
schedule.
say a football schedule is an important aspect of a football team?
In ULM's case, very important, I guess. I would imagine.
Well, they're at Texas.
Your next thing is Lance would have them underdog in all 12 games.
Well,
I
I
assume,
would right now
if they're 134.
They're at Texas and they're at Auburn. I was just seeing who they had out of conference.
So Auburn gets a chance to see maybe the worst college football team.
They also host UAB.
Okay.
Revenge game for Bryant Vincent.
Our show being brought to you by our friends at CPAP Plus. We're about to hear from Kirby Smart. Before you tell us about CPAP Plus, I want to give Kirby a little. We mentioned it yesterday, but a lot of people talk about the discipline in the program, and it's a felony charge that still has to play out. But the fact yesterday that he let they announced they let Ra Thomas go, he is dismissed from the team, not waiting until it's all said and done. He is gone from the team. You know, if you spend a lot of time questioning what Kirby's doing inside the program with this or that, he dismissed a very important part of his team. A very important part of the team from the team. So let's at least take a second to recognize that the guy got kicked off the team from Kirby. I thought that was the right thing to do and a tough thing to do for coaches who sometimes care about winning a lot. So a good move by Kirby to kick Ra off the team.
CPAP Plus. If you're using a CPAP machine, do not buy your mask or your supplies from Amazon or online. See the local people at CPAP Plus. When I say local, in the Birmingham area, Pelham, Highway 280, and Trussville. Come by, get a checkup, get free filters. You do not need an appointment. They carry great names like ResMed, React, Fisher-Paykel. Masks and supplies in stock every single day. If you need it today, they have it today. You do not have to wait. Joe and Woody O'Neill, they do a terrific job keeping your CPAP machine running right. Just Google CPAP Plus, and it'll take you to any of their 3 great locations. CPAP Plus, helping you out on those CPAP machines.
So you, if you're Georgia, you're getting used to this now. Alabama fans got used to it. You're always picked to win it. And how do you handle those expectations? Here's Kirby Smart.
Your team has already been picked first in SEC Media Days, and there's an expectation you will be very high, if not at the very top in preseason rankings. This is not necessarily new for your team the last few years. Does that familiarity help you and your players deal with the expectations that come with these picks?
Yeah, I don't feel like we're familiar with it because we just don't pay attention to it. You know, you guys are probably more familiar with it than we are in terms of like, well, that's the expectation. They're going to start the season top 5, or they're going to be predicted to win the East or West when it was there, or they're going to be predicted to win the SEC. I've never honestly paid any attention to it, and we don't talk about it as a team. So, the expectation is we're going to develop and worry about today's day and not really, we don't think about that.
Kirby never paid attention to it until he convinced his team people were picking him to go 7-5.
That's right.
Yeah, that was when he paid attention to it.
That was going to be my question.
Yeah.
Kirby's not paying attention to it. They're picked number 1. New AP poll comes out. I believe it's going to be somewhere next week. I think I saw a little T say April the 12th, the first AP poll, maybe the date on that coming out. So
August
it's coming
12th,
very soon. I mean, August the 12th. So it's coming out very soon. Georgia is likely going to be number 1 there. But I wonder what Kirby is telling his guys. It probably is something like this. There are people now who are saying there's a path for us not to make the college football playoffs. That we've got to
saying that?
We've got to lose. We got to lose. Well, they just lost Ra Thomas. We just lost one of our starting wide receivers, Brown. Do we even have any playmakers?
I know.
Do we have any receivers?
I mean, at some point, your team's smart enough to know there's probably nobody out there saying there's not a path for us to make the college football playoffs.
No, there is a
path for us to miss it.
There is a path to miss it. I think that is a growing discussion that that I think it's a discussion that people can have in college football. Is there a path where Georgia can not a path they will? I'm asking, is there a path where they can lose 3 games? And I think this is the first time in a long time you could draw up a scenario where Georgia loses 3 games. Please bring the schedule up now, Forrester, because there is a path.
I get to talk about schedule here?
Yeah, there is a path they could lose 3 games. Absolutely.
Well, we have pointed it out many times that Georgia plays probably. I mean, this is hard to say. But if you went for the 3 favorites, the other 3 favorites other than Georgia to make the college football playoffs, they play all 3 of those teams.
That's right.
And that is significant. I do not argue that.
They will not lose all these games, but losable games. And with all due respect to Kentucky and Auburn, if Auburn was at Jordan-Hare, it'd be different. But I'll go Alabama, Texas, Ole Miss,
all on the road,
Tennessee. Those 4 games. Tennessee's a home game, but the first 3 are all on the road. And then Tennessee at home. Those are 4 games that, I know they haven't lost an SEC game in forever, but those are 4 SEC games that could be losable games. And we don't even mention Clemson in the opener now. The point spread tells us the Clemson opener is not going to be a football game, but Clemson and Dabo's, they still recruit some dudes. They are still some football players up there. If they just get quarterback right, that defense is going to be pretty darn good.
I mean, it should be. They should be playing you would guess Clemson's roster, I mean, if you just ranked it in the Southeastern Conference, 5th or 6th?
I would say Clemson's roster is going to be right probably with Missouri's got a better quarterback and a better wide receiver, but you take those 2 players away from Missouri,
it's a better
Clemson's
roster.
Got a better roster than
I would
Missouri.
agree with you. So you would say in the SEC, Georgia certainly has a better roster. Texas does. Alabama does. Then you start to ask, does Ole Miss have a better roster? Probably.
But Tennessee, Texas A&M,
it's in that category,
LSU,
right?
So LSU maybe a little better.
This is the equivalent of them playing on a neutral site, Texas A&M's roster or Tennessee's roster or something like that. You're going to favor Georgia in that situation. But again, we've talked about it a lot. They've got to go to probably, certainly the betting favorites to make the other 3 playoff spots. And that is difficult to do. Play at Texas, play in Tuscaloosa, and play in Oxford. I think a lot of people I'll believe it when I see it that Ole Miss can beat Georgia in Oxford. I think people believe Texas can certainly beat Georgia in Austin, and Alabama has owned Georgia in the Kirby Smart era. Now the big change there, obviously, is in the coach. So was it Nick Saban that owned them, or was it Alabama that owned them? That's the question you have to ask.
Yeah. So that's Georgia. Meanwhile, Texas, another SEC favorite. Steve Sarkisian is the coach there. And Sark gets asked about just the heat in Texas in this camp, how it's getting them ready for the season. This is what every coach is looking. You use the environment to get ready for a long, grueling season. Here's Sark ahead of camp.
We're going to go hard for the first 2.5 weeks. Because I think that's a mindset. We believe in the toughness in our program, and we have to push them to places where maybe they couldn't think they could go, and then excel in those places. And then kind of in that week 3, the week before the first game, we'll start tapering a little bit and getting their bodies back right. So they'll get 2 weeks of that and be ready to go for the first ball game.
Texas A&M was practicing at night to avoid that heat. That's what we learned from Mike Elko yesterday.
Yeah, so Sark's got him out in the heat. Camp's open everywhere. EG joins us from Auburn camp coming up at the top of the hour. Rockstar's Lounge now an hour away, brought to you by our friends at the Floribama. We look forward to that. One other thing to tell you about in this segment after Brownie tells us about our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa.
Woodhouse Day Spa is the place, if you want to get loose for football season, Woodhouse Day Spa, man. A menu of more than 70 options, including massages, body treatments, skincare, waxing, nail services. Right there in the Summit on 280, Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. You can even order the gift online of luxury 24/7. Birmingham.woodhousespas.com. That is Birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Please tell them the next round sent you. Buy 24/7 online or make your appointment right there online. Birmingham.woodhousespas.com.
Okay. In our next segment, I want you to answer the question, what is a ranked win for you? What is a top 25 win for you, and how should the committee judge that?
Okay.
I've got a thought. I want your thought on it, how that should be judged. Your time-lapse moment of the day.
Rockstar. What is your favorite time-lapse moment of the day in show history?
Well, it's probably going to be this one because the lapse of time on this one's going to be insane.
Okay.
Gordon Hayward announced his retirement yesterday.
I mean, he played
Did he
those.
fall?
He played those Butler teams a long time ago, man.
I know, but were we not doing a show with those
We
Butler
were.
teams?
We were. We've been doing a show a minute, Jim. But
Yeah.
we were doing a show when those Butler teams are playing.
Gordon Hayward now retired 14 years in the NBA, and we all get a day older. When we come back, more college football. What is a top 25 win? How is that judged? What I'm asking you, when you play a team and it's in the top 25, does that count? Or if they're in the top 25 at the end, does that count? Do they both count? How do you judge top 25 wins? How should they be judged by the college football playoff ranking team? We'll do that when we come back right here on TNR.
Follow LT on Twitter at @thelancetaylor.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trussville. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations. I'm here with my good friend Jon Lunceford of Lunceford Furniture to tell you about special values on some super comfortable seating. What you got, John?
Lance, every year we stock up on great comfort items like Lazy Boy recliners and sofas so that our customers can be ready for fall and football. This year is no different. We've made special purchases that will deliver great value to Next Round listeners and give them the most comfortable seat in the house. And as always, we've got the best prices in the state on Lazy Boy and the best selection anywhere.
That's awesome. We all know from years of shopping with you guys that Lunceford Furniture is the home for Lazy Boy value.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Back with you on the next round. LT off today, a little vacation. He's back with us on Tuesday. I got a little vacation next week as well. Brownie at the end of the week as we get closer to football season. Hope you're enjoying a big weekend as we move to a Friday here for the show. The camps continue in the NFL. The main first opening weekend of exhibition play goes next Thursday into the weekend. Last night, Bears beat the Texans 21-17. Everyone, as we started the show, talking about the new kickoff rules, and you're voting right now at Next Round Live on what you think of the new kickoff rules there. Some major injuries that we may not get these players back on the field until week 1. Justin Herbert, quarterback Chargers, dealing with plantar fasciitis. And I've done that one summer, and it's painful.
I heard it's awful. Yeah.
Geno Smith's got some hip and back issues and a knee issue, the quarterback there. DeAndre Hopkins yesterday, scary knee moment. He's out 4 to 6 weeks. They hope to have him back for week number 1 there. Show being brought to you today in part by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. Someone at the golf course yesterday said they used Michelson about a decade ago, and she's like, she was behind the counter there in the snack area, and she goes, 20/20 vision.
That's right.
I said, my buddy's got fighter pilot vision.
Yeah. Lance was legally blind until he underwent LASIK surgery from Dr. Mark and Jennifer Michelson. They are pioneers in the field. 969-8100 is the number to call to get that risk-free evaluation. I went through the evaluation, and they told me it can work for you, but it might affect your near vision. So they gave me the choice to make. I chose to not go to readers. I mean, it's just at my age, that's going to be the decision you have to make. But listen, they can fix that distance vision for you. Michelson Laser Vision, 969-8100, risk-free evaluation. See if it is right for you with Dr. Mark and Jennifer Michelson, 969-8100, MichelsonLaserVision.com.
All right, so Ryan Day at camp gets asked yesterday, is there any extra urgency for him this season? What's his record now? It's a lot to very little losses.
Yeah, a bunch of wins, a few losses.
Yeah, so is there any urgency for you this season? Here's Ryan Day.
Is there a different sense of urgency for you personally?
No, I mean, every year there's urgency. I mean, you don't think it's important, try losing a game at Ohio State. I say it all the time. So it's no different that way, but certainly there's a lot of guys on the team that want to, be able to finish the season with some hardware, and that matters.
Ryan Day, I mean, it's a fascinating study. The guy's done nothing but win, but he doesn't have what every Ohio State fan wants him to have, and that's the national championship. And realistically was one set of downs away from winning a national championship. If that one set of downs goes better against Georgia than it did, or if a field goal goes through the uprights, they win the national championship. They would destroy TCU just the way Georgia did. So he's been really, really close, but it's now more magnified by the fact that Michigan has won one and he hasn't. I mean, that's what magnifies this even more. To answer your question, Jim, 56-8 currently. In 42 Big Ten games, he's 39-3.
His 3 losses to Michigan.
I mean, that is absurd. 39-3. He's never had more than 1 loss in the Big Ten. But the last 2 years, they have not played for the Big Ten championship. They have not won a national championship. He has never finished outside the top 10. Never finished outside the top 10. In fact, I would dare say he's never been outside the top 10 in his time there.
I don't think he has. Not even dropped down and had to work his way back in. Shmoo says, guy's in a tough spot. He is. Charles says, he is hard to like. I would agree that he is a guy that it seems like all of this is starting to build to a point where I like him. I saw a story on it. I didn't like him at first. Then I saw some heart-wrenching story what he and his wife do for some people, and I was like, all right, so I'm going to like Ryan Day.
Yeah.
And but then it just doesn't look like he has fun anymore. Like he doesn't look like I know he is, but he doesn't come across.
No, I think
like he likes what he's doing anymore.
Yeah, well, I think the pressure has started to stack up on him, it seems. I look at a lot of these college football coaches, and it doesn't look like they're having fun. But I think especially with him, it feels like the pressure's starting to stack up on this guy. He knows he is one of very, very, very few coaches that are national championship or bust every year right now. Until he wins one and maybe two, and the fans are like, okay, the guy can do it now. Every year he tees it up, he's going to be national championship or bust. And, I just gave you his record. I did go back and look. He's coached exactly one game as a team that is ranked outside the top 10. So, I mean, that's all he's ever been as a top 10 coach right now, or a top 10 team as a coach. And 56-8, 39-3 in the conference. He's done everything he could possibly do except win a national championship.
Volfan 205. Honestly, the Lou Holtz thing turned me against him. What a weird thing that was.
That was kind of odd. Ohio against the world at the end of that Notre Dame game. I know he was excited and it was a huge win, but that was a little bit of an odd reaction. Yeah. I don't disagree.
We get closer to another high-pressure season for Ohio State. But will they really be tested until we get to the postseason? Likely very little, if any at all, through the regular season. All right. What is a top 25 win? And how should you judge that? And let me just give you an example.
Okay.
Let's say you're Team A and you play Team B in week 3. It's two top 10 teams, top 15 teams. That atmosphere is of a top 15 game, right? Is that fair? That's if they're both ranked in the top 15, they play. You're getting all the pressure, the atmosphere of a top 15 team. But every year we see a team that's in the top 10, top 15 fall all the way out of the top 25. So at the end of the year, that team obviously doesn't have the same swagger, maybe the same players. You get some injuries along the way. How do you judge a top 25 win? Does a team you beat in week 3 that's a top 15 team, does that count as a top 25 win for you? Or is it at the end of the year where that team is ranked? How do you judge top 25 wins?
I think especially if you are going to use a committee. So if you're going to use the BCS formula, which we used to have, that's going to be, I tell the computers what to consider, that's what they consider, right?
Right.
If you're going to use a committee, though, which we've chosen to do, at some point you've got to allow it to be subjective. Otherwise, why have a committee? Would you agree with that?
I would.
So if I'm going to use a committee, it's going to have to be subjective. So I'm not going to be able to set a hard and fast rule for what is a top 25 win. And let me give you an example. Let's say I'm going to look for a team that is, I'll use NC State, okay?
Duke was a good one last year because when you played Duke with
it's
Riley.
Actually the best example. So
Riley
let me use
Leonard,
Duke, yeah. So Duke beat Clemson week 1. Notre Dame goes and beats Duke. Riley Leonard gets hurt. Duke's a different team. So if I'm on the committee, I look at that and say they were clearly a top 25 team with Riley Leonard, and without him, they were not. I was going to use NC State as an example and say with Grayson McCall, let's say he gets hurt midseason, unfortunately. You would look at the first half of the season, say the Tennessee game and maybe the Clemson game for them, and say they were obviously a top 15 team with Grayson McCall. He gets hurt. They struggle a little bit, and they finished outside the top 25. So I'm still going to consider that a top 15 win. But if a team doesn't have significant injuries and it was just clear that they were not properly ranked, I'm not going to consider that a top 15 win. I don't care what the atmosphere is like. Like if – I'll use Texas A&M as an example. Let's say A&M is ranked top 25, and A&M's just not good this year. They're just not good. I mean, they finished 6-6.
They were a top 25. They were a top 10 team to start last year, were they not?
Yes.
A&M?
Yeah, and they ended up not being.
Or was it USC? Whichever one ended up falling all the way out.
Right.
I think it was USC. Maybe that was USC. You wouldn't have counted them if you played them week 1 as a top 25.
Not
win.
If they end up being a bad team. No.
Okay.
I mean,
so it involves an injury for you.
Well, I mean, there could be other things, yeah, but I mean, an injury to a quarterback is a significant injury in football. Yeah. So yeah,
Keith says
it doesn't have to be limited to injuries. No,
mybookie.ag chat room. Keith says for me, it is at the time you're playing. That's when it should count. Troy says, what about when you beat a number 1 team? Do you not consider it a win over number 1 then? Forever and ever, or because at the end of the year they're not number 1 for sure because you beat them. So is it not a win against the number 1 team when you beat, like you come in, you're the number 1 team, I beat you.
Well, but
that's a win against the number 1 team.
Yeah, I mean the vast majority of the time, the number 1 team doesn't I mean, if the number one team falls out of the top 25, no, I'm not going to view it the same. But if let's use, let's go back to 2012 when Texas A&M went into Tuscaloosa and beat number one Alabama. Alabama didn't fall apart. I mean, Alabama won the remainder of their games in November and ended up playing for the national championship. Absolutely, that was a number one win. I still consider that. But if Georgia, for whatever reason, had a terrible year, and it's not going to happen, but I'll use this example. Clemson beats them, and then Georgia finishes 6-6. Why do I consider that a number one win? Georgia obviously was not number one. Like, we can't just say, we can't have these polls when we don't see anything happen and we're just projecting what will happen and say that we've got to stick with that projection when our eyes have told us that projection was wrong. Why would you do that? Like, if I project somebody number 10, they go 6-6 and finish outside the top 25. It's stupid to say, yeah, but we projected them number 10, so that should count as a number 10 win. Well, your projections were wrong. Why would we go on that?
Does basketball get it right?
Basketball's got a much bigger data sample, and it's much less important for them to get the seeding drilled down properly. In other words, like, was Alabama a 4 seed last year?
I really think they were seeded perfectly.
But they made the Final Four.
Yeah.
So at the time the tournament started, was Alabama only the 16th best team in the tournament?
At that time, I think they were. They got better as they went along, but yes.
Okay.
But when the tournament started, I mean, they barely got through those. They barely got out of Spokane.
Yeah, I mean, if they did. If a 1 seed gets knocked out in the round of 32, were they a 1 seed? The season said they were, right? Yeah. But the tournament doesn't say they were.
The chat room, Jeff says it's when you beat them.
I disagree completely. People. No, I disagree.
How they finished the season for Goose, a top 25 team in week 1 through 3 that finished 6-6 is not a good resume builder in his opinion.
Let me ask Jeff this question then. If it's what they were when you beat them, if you play a team in the season opener that you beat by 20 and they don't lose another game and they finish in the top 10, you are now saying you don't deserve a top 10 win. How do you feel about that? If it's when you beat them, what if you play a team in the season opener, that's their only loss, and they finish in the top 10, you don't get a top 10 win then?
Your point saying that it can hurt you or help you, if you're going to play it that way.
If that's the way you're going to play it.
Yeah, you have a team that can rise and be unranked when you beat them, and they end up being really, really good.
And see, that's why I don't mind. I'm not crazy about a selection committee, but I don't mind the subjective element of saying, listen, we've got to assume that the preseason votes could be wrong. These are hard to do. And if we vote a team number 10 and that team finishes unranked, we were wrong. So we shouldn't say, well, we're going to give it a top 10 win because that's where we picked them and we thought we were right. That's just stupid.
Yeah.
Same being if...
Can I count them both?
What do you mean?
Can I count them when you beat them? If they're ranked in the top 25, you get credit there. And then if at the end of the year, if they play their way into the top 25, I can count that too. Asking for a friend as an Alabama guy. I feel like I could count them both ways.
That's why I'm saying you've got to be subjective about it. Yeah, you could. You could. I mean, you could look at, because I think you've got to look at the factors.
You've seen it. That the Florida State team that had the injury at quarterback against Alabama, Jimbo's team, Alabama-Florida State over at Mercedes-Benz that night. That was, what was it, 1 versus 3. It was an unbelievable. That Florida State team wasn't, a top 10
Well, they had a DeAndre
team.
Francois injury.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
I mean, that's one thing I would take into consideration.
But without the Francois injury, I don't think that team was going to end up being where they were ranked
Maybe
anyway.
Not. Maybe we'll never know.
But that night, I mean, it had all the buzz and atmosphere of a big time game.
It did. It did. I mean, there's no perfect way of doing this. That's why, when you have a committee, you've got to allow them to be subjective and make the decisions like I'm talking about, or like Jeff is talking about. Now Jeff has come back and said it can hurt you, but it helps you when the team is ranked. I don't know what he's saying there.
Yeah.
It can hurt or help. No, he's saying I'm fine. Now, I don't believe him. I don't believe him that if he's a fan of a certain team, I don't know who Jeff's a fan of in the mybookie.ag chat room.
It's Auburn.
Okay, if Jeff's an Auburn fan, and let's say, Cal has the year of their life, they're going to be unranked when Auburn plays them. And if Auburn beats them by 20, and that is their only loss, and they tear through the ACC for some reason and end up winning the ACC, you can't tell me, don't give me credit for a top 10 win playoff team there. Give me credit for them being unranked when we beat them. I don't believe that for 2 seconds that he thinks that.
Johnston RV Center bringing you part of the show. 4 Downs, part of the next segment. EG coming from Auburn camp at the top of the hour.
I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur is where you find Johnston RV Center. And when you find them, you're going to find that both those lots have been completely repriced. They're so confident in their pricing, in fact, that they will do a nationwide guarantee. You bring them a price on a comparable RV anywhere in the United States of America, they will beat that price at Johnston RV Center. They will also make certain that you've got an RV warranty forever, a warranty on a brand new or on a qualifying previously owned. You can get it right there at Johnston RV Center, johnstonrvcenter.com.
You know what? I don't really understand why we have this job. You ever come across jobs that you wonder why we still have these jobs?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you wonder, how do these people still make a living doing that?
Yeah. I wrote the lady's name down. She's one of the best in the business, Jane Rosenberg. She is a courtroom sketch artist. Before you show me the sketch art work, Forrester, why don't we just have one pool photographer that takes real photos? You see what I'm saying? Yeah, and it could just be one singular photo. That's all we really need because we're only getting one drawing. Can we just stage the photo? I mean, we don't even have to stage it. How distracted will it be to have one person take a couple of pictures of a major trial? I understand keeping the craziness of the media out of there and all the cameras, all the photographers. Right. But when it's a closed courtroom, can't we just have one court-appointed photographer to take a picture or two? When did we ever and why do we have sketch artists? But this lady's one of the best in the business, Jane Rosenberg. And this is considered good in the sketch artist. Okay, am I going to have to guess who she's drawing? Because I really have no idea. I'm just saying this is getting to a point here. Okay. I don't understand why we still have these because she's done she's done the Trump trial this year. She did the Brady trial as well. She saved the Brady one, apparently, took it home. Maybe she saves them all. I don't know. Trump was not very good, by the way. But, you got to draw in real time, Brown. It's not like that's another thing. The photo would be so much better. Hawk Tua said that was John Gotti, by the way. Okay, John Gotti. Yeah, so she's been doing it a while. Yeah, she has. And she's got a book out about it now. It's called Drawn Testimony. But just look how odd that looks, that she's sitting there sketching. That seems like that's more distracting to me, having someone over there with a big drawing, than it is.
Well, why do judges and stuff wear powdered wigs still in the United Kingdom?
That's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've grown past that.
It's back to wanting to get rid of kickoffs.
Yeah. Why do they have stenographers? Can we just digitize this?
I got to tell you, man, that book does not sound exciting. No. She's got a book about her being a courtroom artist.
I don't know what's about the book's about. I don't know.
Wow, drawn testimony. I think I could gather.
I don't know if it's fictional. I don't know if it's where it's. I was drawing and all of a sudden gunfire, and then she has to solve the murder. I had to
run out of the courtroom. Yeah. Little did I know, I was the main suspect.
Yeah. Then it ends up. J.K. Rowling was writing a book about me.
I drew myself out of the case.
When we come back, our 4 Downs and a lot more. This is TNR.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at ryanbrownlive.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention The Next Round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
Buying that perfect home is one of the most important financial decisions you'll ever make, so it's crucial that you have the right partner to help you through the process. Hi, I'm Lisa Zeig, Vice President Mortgage Loan Officer for Bryant Bank, and I'm here to tell you that we are that partner, making it easy to buy with confidence. We offer a variety of mortgage products to fit your unique home buying situation. That kind of hassle-free approach might not be what you'd expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give me a call today or visit one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama and let me show you what banking beyond expectation is all about.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Hang out with The Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out The Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Back with you on The Next Round. We'll get to 4 downs in just a second. EG coming up in the top of the hour, Rockstar's Lounge and Zac Blackerby on Auburn. So a little Auburn for you in the final hour of the show. As they were at day 2 of their camp. Alabama finished day 2 yesterday. I think Bama's off today, back at it on the weekend coming up. Rockstar, can you give me cut number 12? We carried some of Hugh Freeze's news conference live yesterday on the show. Or slightly delayed. Later into the process, Hugh got asked about last year's struggle in the run-pass option game, the RPO, which is so important in the Hugh Freeze offense down there. Here's his discussion about that.
Hugh, what do you think, looking back at last season, were some of the pitfalls when it came to running the RPO with Peyton? And he talked so much in the spring about things feeling different in that regard, things feeling a little sharper. What did you observe in the spring that you think was working better there?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about last year anymore, truthfully. And again, I want it to be on my shoulders that it was my fault, and I don't want to. I'm not a blame guy. It just this spring, I think we put more tools in his toolbox and made a commitment to fix the issues that come up in the RPO, which there are really 3 main issues. If you know RPO offense, that can happen, that you better have answers for, and you better not have the same answer every single time. And I think if you sat down and talk with him right now, he knows very clearly what my 3 answers are, and hopefully he'll start learning situationally which one of those he should go to. And I think that's why he feels more comfortable coming out of spring practice.
More tools in the toolbox for him. More tools in the toolbox. That includes a better receiving core. But for Hugh Freeze's offense to work, Peyton Thorne's legs still become a big factor. Had a big run against Georgia last year.
I was just thinking, when you talk RPO, probably the most memorable play of the year for Peyton Thorne was a run, not a pass, right? I mean, if you look back on all of last year, the biggest play he had was that big run against Georgia. So how do you use his legs more, or at least in an RPO, or in any aspect of the Auburn offense, I guess is probably the better way of saying this. How do you feature him enough that the defense fears him using his legs, right? And how does that equate into a more efficient Auburn offense? That if he's able to run that RPO better, if he's able to run the football actually a little bit better, how does that slow down a defensive rush that gives him more time to throw?
Peyton Thorne's not going to be Jalen Milroe.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
I would
Running
agree
the
with
football,
that. No.
Right. You don't have to be a threat at still running and making the RPO work. You don't have to be the best running quarterback in the world. You just got to be able to take advantage of them, doing not taking you serious in the running game. So we'll see how that progresses. We'll see what's been the focus of practice today when Emily Grace joins us at the top of the hour. The show being brought to you by our friends at Odie's. Tell us about Odie's.
Odie's Tavern is a great place to go anytime, but especially Wednesday night when Rockstar Lance will do the trivia, but all the time. Live music there. Great place for lunch today. You want to go enjoy one of the Big Cup cocktails, Rodney's Cheeseburger, the great Diablo sandwich we always talk about. You got 2 great locations right there in Homewood in the Edgewood area, and also Crestline Village in Mountain Brook. Odie's Tavern, one of our favorite places in all of Birmingham. And don't forget, every Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, award-winning Odie's Trivia featuring Rockstar singing Name That Tune.
We will get to our 4 downs right now, brought to you by Slice. I'll need Lunceford's mic on number 4 and your input on number 4 as well, Rockstar. But Slice every day for lunch and for dinner. It's the weekend. Great date night at the great locations. Montevallo, Vestavia, Lakeview. There
you go.
Also over in Mountain Brook, and the new one in Homewood. It's our friends at Slice. All 5 great locations for pizza and a lot more. Don't underestimate the fire-grilled wings there. They're tremendous with our friends at Slice.
First down.
You have to move the SEC and the Big Ten championship game in football to a different city that they're in right now. Where do you move the SEC? Where do you move the Big Ten?
Can I now? This may not work, but can I wait for the Nashville Dome to get done? I would move to the Nashville Dome, but now the reason I say this may not work, I think they're only going to go about 65,000 seats there.
Very small, yes.
That is too small for an SEC championship game. SEC championship game, I would say minimum 70-ish thousand.
I think they're going to make the Nashville Dome 70.
Are they?
Whatever the minimum number is for the Super Bowl.
So keep in mind for the big college games that are played there, the SEC championship game and the national championship game, they actually bring in more seats. They have a way they can expand the seating way up high in Atlanta. Now, I've talked to people that have sat up there for both the national championship and the SEC championship, and they say the stadium, the board was not really built for that.
No, you're above the ring of fire up there.
Yeah, you're above the ring of fire. Still not a terrible seat, and it is in the stadium, but you don't get the video capabilities. So that's not ideal, but they can make it a little bit bigger. So I would say Nashville, if they could do that, if they can make it big enough. I think for the Big Ten, see, now here's where I struggle. Do I want to keep it indoors, Jim, or do I want to embrace Big Ten weather and move it outside? Which one do you think I should do?
Well, I know my choice, and there is some discussion on whether the Big Ten may do this or not.
Now, if you've got a lot of indoor options up there that are really good. Lucas Oil, Indianapolis, I think is a very good stadium.
That's where they play it now.
That's where they play it now. The one in Minneapolis, you've been there. I've never heard bad things about that stadium.
LT calls it one of the best stadiums there is.
And I've talked to people that have been to Vikings games up there say it's incredible. Auburn fans, I think, liked it. They didn't like the outcome, but they liked the venue for the Final Four. And then you've got Ford Field in Detroit, which is, it's getting aged, but it was built in a time where it's, I think, got the types of facilities you need for there. Or do you want to embrace the West Coast and maybe play it in SoFi out in L.A.? That's a roll of the dice, because if you don't get a West Coast team in there, that's tough travel for your fans.
There is some discussion on whether or not it should be occasionally played, the Big Ten in Vegas, and the SEC maybe at Jerry's World. We'll see if we ever move it. I like keeping it a little more centralized for the SEC. I like having the destination. Everyone's playing to play in Atlanta. Everyone's playing to play in Indianapolis. But, as they try to, keep interest in these conference championship games, we'll see if they get on the road at some point.
Second down.
Favorite Olympian all time. I saw on First Take earlier today. Ooh. They were asking the question, is Simone Biles your favorite Olympian of all time? So she's not from me. She's one of the more decorated. Who's your favorite Olympian all time? I'll take anybody from the back room as well.
Dan and Dave.
Dan and
Which
Dave.
one of them made it? One of them didn't, right?
Dave made it. I don't think
Dave made it.
Which shoe company was it? Gatorade or was it a shoe? It was Reebok, wasn't it?
Nike.
It was Nike. Was it Nike?
Yeah, they had a whole campaign.
Yeah, that was it. The whole campaign, and then one of them made it and one did not. And it was the decathlon. They were trying to. Yeah.
All right, this is going to be super strange and probably get me destroyed in the mybookie.ag chat room. Rockstar, can you Google the name Bart Connor? Do you remember the name Bart Connor, Jim?
Male gymnast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid,
bothered me because he wore long pants.
Oh, did he?
When he did his gymnastics, yeah.
So when I was
not
a
that
kid,
I'm dying to see his legs, but
has that bothered you, huh? So I think this was the '84 Olympics in L.A. Like the men's gymnastics team was like the big story, and there was a guy named Bart Connor. I don't know why I remember him. Either him, Rockstar has got a photo of the Bart Connor, and you're right, Dunaway. He wears not only pants, but they're footies. Like they cover his feet. It's like he's going to bed, like they're footed pajamas.
Yeah.
Why did he wear those?
That was a weird look for me.
That was a weird look. Well, he got married. There you go. That's good. Or Rockstar. Are you going to open that one? Rockstar has to fight the pop-ups here. Yeah, that's a weird look. Boy, look at those muscles.
Brown, settle down.
Yeah, seriously,
Tyler, can you bring Brown a water and a towel?
Rockstar, or Karch Karai would be the other one. You remember him, the old volleyballer, Karch Karai?
Yeah.
So I got to go
spell check on Karch Karai.
Huh?
I think you have the spell check.
No, you don't have to worry about Karch Karai.
My favorite one was the volleyball duo, the sand volleyball duo. When did sand volleyball start? Was it 2000? Like it's very recent. It's on TV5 in the studio right now. But our Americans, Walsh and Mitzi somebody.
Misty May.
Oh, Mitzi.
Yeah, Mitzi May and Kate Walsh. Was it Kate? Katie Welch or Walsh? Mitzi May's trainer. They were my favorite every year. They just dominated. Loved that duo. They were my favorites. Lunceford, did you have a favorite Olympian of all time? Michael Phelps getting a lot of love in the mybookie.ag chat room. Yes.
Yeah, because like when the Beijing Olympics happened in 2008, I had just had surgery on my feet, and so I was in bed and literally could not move. And that was when the Olympics happened, when Michael Phelps had his first explosion. That's probably the most fun I've had watching the Olympics.
Yeah. Is that Misty May right there, Rockstar? Is that who that is?
She's focused.
Yeah, she is focused. Look at that. Digging it out of the sand.
She had to get after it. She roamed around while the other girl was a big tall one.
Carrie Walsh and Misty May.
Yeah, Carrie, not Katie. Carrie. Katie's an actress, I think. All right, let's do third down.
Third down.
Okay, I'm heading to a vacation point that Megan and I have gone to several times. One of the things I like about this vacation spot is poolside. They deliver frozen drinks to me.
Okay.
Best pina colada in the world at this place.
Oh, how about that?
If given a choice, frozen or on the rocks?
What am I drinking?
A summery drink, Brownie. Frozen or on the rocks?
I think I like a margarita better on the rocks than I do frozen.
Okay.
Pina colada is probably my top frozen drink, though. I do like a pina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me
I
too.
don't care if they make fun of me in the chat room for that one either.
Yeah.
But Patrick's right. If you're at the pool, frozen's probably the best way to go. It's going to stay colder longer, I would think. So I would go with Patrick in the mybookie.ag chat room. If I'm poolside, it's always going to be frozen.
Problem is down at the bottom, it becomes watery.
Right.
If you don't drink them fast enough, you drink them too fast, you get a brain freeze. Rocks for our stews, frozen for Keith, frozen for Matt, frozen for Charles.
Yeah.
We're a manly group.
Yeah, a bunch of frozens here in the mybookie.ag chat room.
Yeah, frozen, no umbrella for Keith.
Yeah.
Frozen for Jace. Ice melts too, Jim. Thank you for that science
It does
lesson,
in fact melt,
Patrick.
yes, in the heat.
Yeah, I didn't know you were Mr. Science, Patrick. Lunceford goes frozen too.
Yes.
All right, final one.
Fourth down.
Wes Craven's birthday today. Favorite Wes Craven movie? Back row first, Lunceford.
Hard pass.
You don't like any Wes Craven?
Who's in hard pass?
He's a horror guy, and I'm not a horror guy.
You don't like any of them?
No.
Nightmare on Elm Street, is that correct?
Yeah.
Is that
Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream.
Yeah, Scream is my...
I'd probably go Scream. Scream was fantastic in the theater.
The original Scream would be my
so
choice.
Good.
I don't like horror movies either. Scream was it for me. Nightmare on Elm Street, the one Rockstar referenced the other day, the people under the stairs.
Yeah, it's scary for me being like in 4th grade. I don't know if it scared me now, but there's literally people under the stairs of this house.
Yeah, the hills have eyes always freaked me out because
it's a good weekend song.
Is it?
Yeah.
The hills have eyes would lure you in, as some horror movies do, with, ooh, is she about to take her shirt off? Ooh. And then all of a sudden,
I have eyes too.
And then all of a sudden, here comes scary stuff.
That's well put. Here comes scary stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty much the plot right there. Y'all don't have to watch it now.
Well, I mean, if you don't like horror movies,
hits and jump scares.
If you were like Jason was my genre, right? That was the Friday the 13th first one. The original one was back. Hey, settle down. But back early on, you're sitting there and you're a young-blooded American male.
Yeah.
And all right, they're making it out on the couch. I'm about to see a boob right here, and then boom, a knife goes up through everybody.
Sequel, my eyes are up here.
Then a knife goes through everybody. That just ruins.
Nothing but blood. Then
lured me in at that point. Other than that, my eyes are closed.
That's why Jim would 100% die first. It's like ooh, and then it's over.
100%.
Oh, I got stabbed.
Lured me right downstairs with that
That's why I
boob.
developed those weird kinks.
That is 4 Downs, brought to you by our friends at Slice. EG coming up on the other side. We'll head down to Auburn after this quick timeout right here on the next round.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at jimdunaway.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
You never know what we're up to here at The Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow The Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunceford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trustful. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, final hour of the show brought to you by our friends at Champy's, world famous fried chicken. Champy's taking us on campus with Emily Grace McWhorter. Champy's will get you ready for your tailgate at Jordan-Hare or over at Bryant-Denny or Protective, or if you're heading to a high school football game. They're located on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Deep Southern fried chicken, hand-cut chicken fingers, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, and so much more. Champy'sChicken.com.
All right, EG goes to camp. She's in Auburn today as the Tigers hit the practice field for day number 2, and then the players will meet with EG and the remainder of the media there afterwards. So she'll have a lot of that at Next Round Live on social media, at Next Round Live. What is up, EG? How are things on the plains?
It's great to be back down here. I'm in the lobby of the football facility. It's beautiful. It really is. Our friend Zac Blackerby actually just walked past me. We've got Justin Hokanson down here. It's like a family reunion.
Tell Zach he's up at 11:45. He needs to be in position already.
I guess that's where he's going right now.
Okay, good.
Tell him we'll send him a Zoom link right after we're done with you here.
So you've been out to practice this morning for the media viewing. Is there anything, just big picture, that jumped out at you from that?
The wide receivers are really that good.
They're really that good, huh?
They're really that good. I don't want to overhype anything by any means, but it was really cool to see them in action in person. So Cam Coleman had a great over-the-shoulder catch where he had to adjust. And the passer was John Colvin. I'm not sure if you guys know that name. He's a redshirt freshman quarterback. And it was like watching poetry, truthfully. I got some great looks at Keandre Lambert-Smith, Cam Coleman, Perry Thompson, those guys. And it was really cool to watch.
When you talk about Perry, we've seen a lot of Cam back in the spring, and we've seen tape on Lambert from Penn State, but seeing Perry in person, just describe to me, size, speed, how does he compare to look Cam-wise? How does he look standing next to those guys?
He looks comfortable, and he looks like he belongs, which I think is important because he didn't get that spring camp installment, really. He's quick. He moves really fluid. And like I said, it's just fun to watch this group. And a lot of them were kind of messing with each other in between plays. And this practice, guys, it's really quick tempo. I noticed that they were moving groups, moving positions on the field pretty much like every 2 minutes, I want to say. So I primarily focused on the offense. I didn't get much of the defense. I got Vontrell King-Williams and Gage Keys kind of chopping it up, coaching him up. But I really focused on the offense, specifically with the quarterbacks as well.
All right, so I want to ask you about quarterbacks. We know Peyton Thorne is going to be the starter. I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong here, EG, before I even ask this question, the part of practice you saw, all the quarterbacks were repping at the same time, right? Is that the way it worked?
Yes, it was simultaneous.
Okay, so there was no way to look and say, all right, Thorne took this rep, then a backup took this rep, or a backup took this rep.
Brown, we don't project depth charts on this show anyway.
I know we don't, but I just wanted to ask EG. I mean, was there any, who was right next to Thorne? Could you gauge, where Walker White, Holden Gerner, where all those people were?
Holden Gerner seemed to be lingering close by, and I'll leave it at that. How about that?
Okay. So EG's projected Holden Gerner as the backup, Jim.
No, I have not projected.
I know you have not, EG. I'm not going to get you in trouble.
Yeah. So, I have yet to see a Hugh Freeze practice. I did not get to go to one last year, and obviously it's day 2 today, so I have not been inside a Hugh Freeze practice. I've been to a ton of Nick Saban's. I haven't seen Kalen DeBoer on the practice field yet either. I know how animated Nick Saban got in practice. I've seen straw hats fly in practice. I've seen words used in practice. Give me your observation in your viewing period today of what Hugh Freeze. He seems like a pretty chill guy to me. What's Hugh Freeze like in practice?
He's very loose. I caught him when they were going into the indoor practice facility. And what's interesting is that yesterday, the media had almost an hour viewing of practice. Now, there were no cameras allowed, but they were able to take notes. And Justin Hokanson told me this for about an hour. I think that tells you everything you need to know about Hugh Freeze if he's letting media hang out in there. They could take photos, so Hoke posted some really cool ones yesterday. But I don't want to say it's relaxed, but it's very, I guess loose is the right word to say, very fluid, a lot of movement, I would say, is the key word that I'm going to point out. Is there's a lot of movement to Hugh Freeze's practices.
So later on today, when they're finished with practice, you guys are going to get to visit with some of the players. Have they given you a hint yet who we can expect?
Yes. So there's a pretty lengthy list. I'm going to focus on Jarquez Hunter, Keontae Scott, and Jalen McLeod. So those will be the 3 that you guys will hear from.
Okay. So that'll be at Next Round Live. Little T and EG will get that up at Next Round Live. So make sure you follow us on social media at Next Round Live to see all of EG's interviews from down there at Auburn.
Can you give me a tight shot real quick of EG? Put her up on the full camera here. Here we go. So I just want to see her reaction when I say this. So tomorrow you're off to what camp? Gainesville? You're off to Gainesville? Where are you going next?
Gainesville.
I mean, you head to Baton Rouge. I mean, are you taking a day off tomorrow? No camp tomorrow for you?
I'm taking a day off tomorrow. I'm going back to Atlanta. I may catch a Braves game tonight, though. So I guess, did the Braves count?
Yeah, so you're gonna go watch the Marlins play? Which is more exciting?
Yeah, I am Dunaway.
UAB on Tuesday, 2 Bama practice, the Auburn practice, or watching the Braves play the Marlins? Come on, the Marlins.
Listen, I want this sweep for the Braves. We talked about independent, Grace. I will not be happy unless we break out the brooms come Sunday.
Yeah, she wants blood. You've cut it to 6. I mean, it was a much bleaker picture a week ago.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's my point. So it's been a fun week, though. You guys know I love this go, and getting just to be around it all. It really is my favorite thing in the world, and I love bringing it back to our great listeners and audience.
All right, much more from Auburn today at Next Round Live on social media. EG will have all the interviews and videos up. Thank you, EG. Be careful.
Off. I can't believe you're getting a day off. There's camps going on tomorrow. I'm kidding.
I know.
I'll see you next Thursday after my vacation.
Yeah, we'll be back until Thursday. All right, EG, have a good weekend. We'll see you.
Bye, guys.
All right, see ya. Emily Grace McWhorter down in Auburn, and she will have more, as I said, at Next Round Live on social media, where you'll get all the reaction from Auburn practice.
The show being brought to you in part by our friends at Hemp Hill today as well. One more thing to make a point of before we get to Rockstar in the Lounge today. Tell us about Hemp Hill.
Hemp Hill Services, that's who we trust on this show. In fact, I just trusted them the other day, as I mentioned. You walk in that house and you feel it's a little bit warmer in here than it should be, and that's exactly what happened at the Brown home. You fear the worst, but I know what I did first. I called Hemp Hill right away. Hemp Hill Services, 229-2090. That is 229-2090, the number to call. Whether residential, corporate, industrial, it does not matter. They can make sure if it's not running right, flushing right, draining right, Hemp Hill Services, make sure they get it right for you. 205-229-2090, 205-229-2090 for Hemp Hill Services.
She's going to watch the Braves tonight, by the way. They released the postseason calendar schedule of how it plays out.
Right.
If we get a Game 6 and a Game 7, it'll be on Friday, November 1st and Saturday, November 2nd. So Mr. November plays in, right?
That's right. So potentially 2 games in all the way into November.
Yeah, November 1st and 2nd. And the sad part of that is if there's a Game 7 on a football Saturday on November, the first Saturday of November.
Not going to watch it.
That's a tough watch for me. But that's the baseball schedule down the line. Green Bay has a alternate uniform coming up for, I think, Week 7. They're saying they're going to wear this at home for a whiteout at Lambeau Field. Introducing their white helmet in real life is what they sent out yesterday. And I'm going to tell you, it's a pretty good-looking uniform.
I'm prepared to not be a fan of this.
Yeah, well, traditionally, you're not going to like it.
Green Bay's got a traditional uniform.
But if you're going with alternate uniforms in the NFL...
I do like the all-white uniform.
That is a good-looking uniform.
Yeah, I like the uniform, don't like the helmet.
It's a good-looking uniform, even with that helmet. It's not the traditional helmet, which... takes away, obviously, but you see some crappy helmets now in the NFL on these alternate uniforms. That's a good-looking uniform. I'm sure Georgia will wear it soon. That gets us to the Floribama Lounge today. Rockstar slides in here, and we get to enjoy a little music before we get to trash today. Zac Blackerby is up later on at 11:45. That's why Rockstar's Lounge is moved up a little bit today. Floribama, a great place to get to right now down on the coastline.
Oh, it absolutely is. When you go down to the Floribama, it is always a good time. Just had some friends the other day send me, they were down there, what was that, Wednesday night. I woke up Thursday morning to a text from them, video of Dixieland Delight playing with the alternate lyrics, and some Alabama fans were doing it one way, some Auburn fans were doing it the other, and I was like, that's the Floribama. Bulls on the Beach, also part of the Floribama. It's one of the most anticipated events of the year. The family can come out and enjoy the ultimate adrenaline rush. 3 nights of a live rodeo featuring professional bull riders from all around the country, and a portion of the proceeds go to the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. That's something that they always do there. at the Floribama. September 5th through the 7th. They are halfway sold out. It did sell out last year, so get tickets now. Floribama.com. Floribama.com/bulls-on-the-beach.
It is
or just go to Floribama.com.
Amazing show every year. Rockstar in the lounge today. He's been battling some vocal issues all week long. So
Battling.
Does that usually impact your choice of song?
It always does. Still kind of stopped up. Still don't sound the same.
I can tell. What you going to do? You're going to go like Johnny Cash?
We can do Johnny
Lean into
Cash.
it?
I was going to give you an option. You can do Johnny Cash. I know y'all hate it, but I can do Cat Stevens.
I don't hate Cat Stevens.
And I could do a Pearl Jam song. That's the Just Breathe, the finger picking song. I've done it before years ago. Or we can do Johnny Cash. So, or I could do. I always hear this. I think I did it maybe 2 years ago. I always get Nutshell from Alice in Chains, which is a beautiful song. I think I could pull it off today. But I'll leave it up to you guys.
That sounded like the best one right there. Nutshell. Alice.
Yeah, that's fine. You've done it before, and it was popular with the people.
Well, there's always several people that request it. It's a
Well,
beautiful song done by Alice in Chains. It's not a very uplifting song, shocker. But if y'all want that one,
yeah, let's do that. Nutshell. It's got the word shell in it, which reminds me of the Floribama.
Okay,
it works. Good job, Rockstar.
And it was written in a state.
That's
so
right.
Flora
Yeah.
and
Much
Bama.
like Bama.
That's cool.
Nutshell, Alice in Chains. It is brought to you by the great folks at the Floribama, a destination location on the coast, traditional music venue. Here's Rockstar in the Floribama Lounge.
Chase Miss Pretty Lies. Hey, face the bad time, and yet I fight this battle all alone. No one to cry to, no place to go home. Gift of self-restraint, my privacy is rain, and yet I find repeating in my head, if I can't be my own, I'd feel better dead. You happy? Everybody in a good mood?
It's a cheerful little song right there.
Tyler, favorite AIC song over there. Rockstar, great choice from Laura there. Some really, really good comments there. Bama Beth listening up in the Franklin area. One of my all-time favorites there. Thank you, Bama Beth, for jumping in. Beautiful song from Rockstar in the Floribama Lounge. Tell us about Floribama again.
Yeah, don't forget Bulls on the Beach, floribama.com, where you can find more information for Bulls on the Beach. Sold out last year, halfway sold out already this year. So you're going to want to make sure you go ahead and get your tickets now for Bulls on the Beach, a live rodeo right there on the beach next to the Floribama. It's a heck of a show. Tickets on sale now, September 5th through 7th, floribama.com.
Johnny Cash is usually a very quick song. Johnny Cash's songs are usually about 2 minutes and 12 seconds.
Oh, we're going to get a twofer.
Well, I'm just asking.
No, I'm all in.
We got a little bump right here. We got a time for it. If you've got a Johnny Cash song, which one is it?
Oh, the one that everybody knows. I'm not going to do Fire. I mean, you got to do one of the best covers of all time. He should have won an award for it, but Justin Timberlake did. One of the best, most depressing videos I've ever seen. So if you want to upstage Nutshell, you got to go with Hurt.
I mean, we're really
You're going to go with Hurt?
This is going to be West.
What, you want me to go with Folsom Prison?
I love that, actually.
You want to go? You seen the Harmony for Jackson?
I'm going to Jackson.
Jackson.
I kind of pretend I'm June.
Let's do a sample of it out there. We're not gonna.
I was hoping you were going to do Boy Named Sue.
Terrible. So
I still hate that name.
I love Johnny Cash, but that is not his.
What about One Piece at a Time?
That's my second least favorite Johnny Cash song. Actually, that's my least favorite. Boy Named Sue's my second least favorite.
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole, that old familiar sting. Try to kill it all away, but I remember everything. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end, and you can have it all. Empire of dirt, I will let you down. I will make you burn. I wear this crown of thorns upon my liar's chair, full of broken thoughts that I cannot repair. Beneath the stains of time, the feeling disappears. You are someone else. I am still right here. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end. You can have it all. My empire of dirt, I will let you down. I will make you hurt. If I could start again,
Rockstar in the Lounge, brought to you by our friends at Floribama. Bobby said he heard Dave Matthews Band and Emmylou Harris do Long Black Veil in Nashville in September of 2000, and that became his favorite Johnny Cash song at that point.
He's got a lot of songs, man.
Yeah.
He does have a lot of them, man. Listen, I'm a huge Johnny Cash fan. I'm not going to pretend they're all great.
Right.
But he does some really good ones.
We touched on a couple of that were not great there.
I agree.
Somebody, I forgot the name, said, first time I heard that, I thought it was My Swedish Friend.
It is.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. It's the Swedish chef from Sesame Street.
That is a Rockstar in the Floribama Lounge, brought to you by the great folks at the Floribama. When we come back, we'll do trash. Then we'll talk Auburn football with Zac Blackerby coming up at 11:45 on the show today. All that still to come right here on the next round, being brought to you by our friends at Champy's, world famous fried chicken. Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go right now and get that destination lunch. They cook to order, brined overnight, cooked to order, deep southern fried chicken, comes out piping hot. Take advantage of their to-go window. Also, hand-cut chicken fingers, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, and so much more. It is champyschicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or the Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Back with you on the next round show, being brought to you in part by our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. We got a Big Ten video, I think, ready for you here in just a second after I tell you that Greg from Pell City wants to have your roof ready to roll. Storm Restoration Roofing, owned by our friend Greg from Pell City. He and his wife, locally owned for over 20 years. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. Trusted professionals and trusted by our insurance agents in the area. That means they're going to more likely give you a more favorable ruling when it comes to decisions needing to be made about payments on your roof and replacing half or whole roofs, or is this covered, not covered. They trust Greg, and that helps you in the long run. He'll fight for you, gives you a free no-cost roof inspection, absolutely free, no obligation. He'll get on your roof and check it out to see if you got a loose shingle or any other water entry points. Absolutely the best. He handles all storm repairs, roof replacements, and anything that goes on top of your roof. 205-542-3531. 205-542-3531, or Greg from Pell City on Facebook. We joked about it when the Big Ten announced its expansion, Brown, that, oh my goodness, by the time they have to redo their little tour of all the campus commercials, the commercial break will be over with. Well, the new video is out.
It's one of my favorite commercials, the Big Ten commercial where they hit all the campuses. We've now added Washington and Oregon.
West Coast.
That's right.
USC. Now where are we going?
UCLA. They're in LA. Well, now we get back to Nebraska.
Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Well, we got to keep going, though.
I love this commercial. Do you like this commercial?
It was really well done, but as you can tell now,
it takes a minute.
It takes up some time.
There's got to be a longer commercial break.
Yeah, Penn State. Still got to go. Yeah. Maryland. Give me Rutgers.
Yeah.
Now let's look back at the rest of the country. Yes, all the way out there.
You know what they've taken out of this? Hang on, let me watch.
Can we start it over? Can we start it? Whoa, what they've taken out? Okay, tell me what they've taken out.
Well, it's still in there, the Rose Bowl, but it's because it's UCLA's home stadium. You remember the commercial started with the actual Rose Bowl, and then it went to Nebraska before they had any West Coast teams.
That's right. And
I thought they had taken the Rose Bowl out, but it's UCLA's home stadium.
And that's my problem with this now. If you are familiar with the map of our great country, where does this video start? This is why I'm pro SEC.
It starts in Seattle.
It starts in freaking Canada.
That's true.
It starts in Canada.
We fly out of Canada.
Start it from the beginning. Zap it. Can you root it back? Start it. When we get to the beginning here, we're just going to rewind it.
There you go.
We're in freaking Canada. Yep. We're in Vancouver. Big Ten starts in Canada and then comes across the border.
Well, they got the whole freaking country.
And then has to come down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a cool commercial.
The SEC, made in America, not Canada. That's what we are.
From Canada to Rutgers.
Yeah.
We got you covered.
That actually starts in Canada there. All right. Trash time coming up here right now as we'll talk Auburn football with Zac Blackerby next. But right now, Mortgage Right brings you Trash Hit the Big Button Rucky.
At the belt. And now the 3-2 swung on. A pop foul back here.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
It hit me.
It really hit me. I didn't know it was coming back that far.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
When it comes time to refinance your home or make a new home purchase, your first stop needs to be Mortgage Right. Veteran-owned, veteran-operated. They got great programs for all of you veterans out there. MortgageRight.com/TNR is the site to go to right away. MortgageRight.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. I don't know. I mean, Rockstar Mike could guess. He's been doing trash a long time. How many times the headline in trash has started with these two words, Jim Dunaway?
Florida man.
Florida man. Rockstar, I would say...
it's probably 30%.
30% of trash stories start with
36%.
the phrase Florida man.
It's a fun country.
This one is Lakeland, Florida. Polk County deputies have no trouble keeping up with an alleged Walmart thief who tried to get away with several stolen items. Rockstar showing you a photo now of the gentleman in question here. That is Troyson Raymond. He is 35.
Looks like Sean from Boyz II Men.
He is facing several charges, Sean from Boyz II Men, including felony petty theft, grand theft, and unlawful possession of a shopping cart. The incident came to a slow halt in front of a Dunkin' Donuts as the police chase continued because he was trying to elude police on the electric scooter that he stole from inside the store.
Those things don't go fast.
2 miles per hour, Jim.
But he tried to throw him off the scent by Dunkin' Donuts.
That's right. So I'll get him to the donut shop and maybe they'll dive in. Upon making contact with Raymond, deputies found several packages of items stolen from the nearby Walmart. It included jewelry, handheld game systems, and many other items that totaled $167. So he didn't go big, just $167.
Do you remember how slow the OJ Bronco chase looked on television going down the interstate? Can you imagine them chasing this guy?
I think they're just walking right next to him like, Raymond, just turn it off, please.
Yeah.
Raymond.
You know the battery charge only lasts 90 minutes. You're not going to go far.
Raymond, if you think we're all going to stop for donuts at Dunkin' Donuts, you're insane, Raymond. Don't go over there, Raymond.
This isn't a cartoon.
Yes. The bad part of this story, though, is, I mean, it's all bad. He only stole $167 worth of things, so I think it's petty theft. The biggest charge is he's being charged with stealing the scooter itself, which is worth $1,300 because it says in-store use only. And he took it all the way to Dunkin' Donuts. You can't do that.
But if I was his lawyer, I've watched too many episodes of Suits lately, but if I'm his lawyer, I'm going to say it doesn't say in this specific store use only. Dunkin' Donuts also is a store. And I'm taking it to use it in that store.
A surprisingly compelling argument there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Defense rests.
I can't wait.
But we'll be happy to take a plea.
That's right. I mean, if you let Raymond off. A woman is caused to splash after she was filmed bathing topless in a Florence fountain. Not Florence, Alabama. This is Florence, Italy. I assume, Rockstar, this says Florence,
Yeah,
Italy.
you just threw me off a little bit. Well, I think it's Italy. But
Italy. Yeah, I don't think it's Florence, Alabama.
But isn't there a fountain over there that you're supposed to do this traditionally?
I don't know. But she's reignited a debate about appropriate behavior when visiting another country. The video was shared on social media with the caption, "Last night in Piazza Santo Spirito," probably our answer, Rockstar, about Florence, Italy or Florence, Alabama. I'm going to go Italy here. A girl bathes in a fountain in Mother Nature style. In the version, the English-speaking woman swims in the fountain while asking bystanders to join her. I would imagine, I can't really tell here, but I imagine she got some takers.
We're going streaking. Everybody.
Everybody just takes their phone out.
Well, I'm sure there was a husband that was like, honey, she asked me to get in there with her. The act drew...
Are you going vacation on me here? I mean,
this is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
The act drew fierce criticism from the locals. One complained the city has become, quote-unquote, out of control. In May, Florence renewed its campaign, Enjoy Respect, to encourage visitors to have a more respectful, aware, and sustainable approach towards the city. The project was conceived as part of the Great Italian Destinations for Sustainable Tourism. That is a terrible name for an organization.
I do like this couple just doesn't care. They continue their conversation. Like,
so anyway, she said to me,
I'm just telling you, I think she's getting my quarter I just threw in there for good luck.
Is that an Ed Hardy? Do they still make Ed Hardy? Yeah, it's an Ed Hardy. That's cool.
By the way,
T-shirt reference.
There you go.
Fines for swimming in fountains in Italy can range as high as $740. So she may be paying a fine to swim naked there. I think Lunceford and Tyler might buy into this. I don't know. I'll have to ask them. Do you want to visit Multiverse Land?
I think Forster's a no.
Well, once you... it's a cool concept, but once you see the execution, but...
yeah, I'll still do it.
I mean, as a concept, you and Tyler are on board, right?
Yeah.
This is the backyard of a guy's lot.
Okay, well, maybe not anymore.
Hang on. Wait till we see the photos, okay? Now that you've seen the photos.
Okay.
That's our pass from you?
I mean, truthfully, that does look like Melton's backyard, I imagine.
And that's a multiverse. That's awesome.
I mean, the chairs look comfy enough. There's a dance floor.
Yeah.
Can I get some sweet glasses like that?
Yeah. I mean, you've got a wizard.
That guy actually reminds me of somebody.
This honestly looks like something you would have seen at Alien Fest when you went out there.
No, I think I saw something like this at Alien Fest. A lot like that. Behind a fence with a no trespassing notice, there's string lights, organ music, inflatable orbs, and E.T. playing a tambourine, as E.T. did in the movie, right? He played a tambourine famously in the movie. Multiverse is the brainchild of Dr. Good Vibes. That is his name, Dr. Good Vibes. It is an intergalactic mini theme park devoted to his exploration of an alternate universe. He has faced stark choices in his own life. It's a science lesson, a spiritual awakening, he says, and it's basically a county fair on LSD. That's his description.
Oh, wow. More pictures.
Tampa Bay Times met him for the first time 6 days before these photos when Dr. Good Vibes was wearing a T-shirt and flip-flops and introduced himself as Brian Loverdi.
Got it. Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
There's a little...
Yes.
There's a little in there. Not who I was thinking of.
Run the picket fence.
There's a woman that goes by the name Dean Smiley. You see her in the photo there. That's his partner. Couple $1,000s in 3 years is what it took them to build Multiverse Land.
3 years.
3 years and a couple $1,000s.
3 years.
There's a hall of mirrors, a cosmic disco, checkered dance floor, fire pit, where you can quote-unquote burn bad vibes. There are aliens, spaceships, suns and moons, random stuffed pug the size of a toddler. There's inspirational signage that says things like life is beautiful, be gentle, be loving, be kind. Everything you see is a symbol. You're an actor in a play. All of that there at Multiverse Land.
Vibes are good, though. It looks like.
I mean, yeah, why wouldn't you want good vibes?
Yeah.
Yep. Dr. Good Vibes.
You can buy almost anything in an auction now. The owner of what might be Europe's largest collection of bedpans is trying to sell them as an auction. Mary Jacobs, she's 77. She's from Newmarket, England, said she started her unusual collection while helping out with rummage sales in 1984. She said, quote, I saw a slipper bedpan come in and I bought it for 64 cents. That was the start. I just wanted to collect something different. It snowballed from there. I found myself going round and round so many places to add to my collection. She now has 163 different bedpans and has run out of room to store them. I had a cupboard built to store them in my front bedroom. I'm getting older and I need to clear some space, she said. They're clean, washed, and in fantastic condition.
If she's getting older, I would advise her not to get rid of all of them.
Keep at least one or two, right? She attempted to offload her collection earlier this month in an auction conducted by Bateman's. The tiny toilets failed to find enough bidders. She offered for sale in 17 group lots, 6 to 12 bedpans each. The improved ideal bed and douche slippers, she calls it. I'm just reading it right here, guys. And something for everyone, she says, but she can't find a way to sell them. There was an estate sale one street over, and I don't know why, but my wife was talking about it. My youngest daughter really wanted to go. I think she thought maybe there would be something for her there. But it was unfortunately an older couple where the lone remaining person had passed or had been moved off to assisted living. I don't know which. And
you want some of Johnny's suits?
There was clothing in there. There were a ton of people in there, and there was all kinds
Johnny's
of stuff.
Bills. Come check these out.
But we went to the basement, and in the basement there was a lot of medical stuff, like a walker and like a foot boot. But there was a bedpan in there, and my youngest was walking over towards us. I said, "Do not touch that."
Yeah.
What is it, Dad? I was like, "That's what they call a bedpan."
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Yeah, we're not going to buy the old bed.
Time to exit here. Bracket punishment?
What do we do with it? Eat soup out of it?
48 hours. You can only use the bedpan.
Oh,
how are you going to prove it?
Live up here, and you can only use the bedpan.
That's true. Rockstar's right. Somebody's got to monitor it. That's the really, dare I say, crappy job.
It'd be Ush.
Yes. Finally, here's a question. Here's a question for you, Dunaway. Can a 6-second kiss each day lead to a more intimate relationship?
Can a 6-second? Oh, I'm being entrapped by the great scene from The Notebook.
That's it.
Yeah. Can a 6-second kiss? Yes.
A daily intimacy exercise pioneered by couples therapist and clinical psychologist John and Julie Gottman say the 6-second kiss is what it sounds like, taking a few moments out of each day to connect physically with your partner. 6 seconds is not just an arbitrary number, John Gottman says. The couple married in 1987 and co-founded the Gottman Institute, trains couples therapists. Rockstar, your mic's still on, by the way, before you say anything you regret.
Yeah.
After studying more than 3,000 couples over 30 years, the Gottmans found that 6 seconds of intentional intimacy is enough to trigger the release of oxytocin. Oxytocin, not Oxycontin. It looks like Oxycontin. I knew that wasn't right.
Yeah, oxytocin, or as we said in the trailer park, a 6-second kiss gets the old sap churning, the sap rising.
All right.
Yep.
It's the same hormone widely believed to be responsible for bonding a baby with its mother. The Gottmans say it builds trust in a relationship by calming down the fear center of the brain.
Yep.
Gottman cited research by neuroeconomist Paul Zak that suggests a 20-second hug does the same thing. So you got your choice for this anniversary weekend for you and Maggie. A 6-second kiss every day or a 20-second hug?
Oh, I've got some choices this weekend.
Oh, my. Does she have one?
According to the vows, no.
Wow.
6 seconds, 20-second hug, 6-second kiss. I think I practice that almost every day.
You think so?
I do. I think I check that box every day.
Good for you. Well, it should help your relationship.
It does. All right. That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right.
MortgageRight.com/TNR. You're first up, and it comes time to refinance or sell your home. Mortgage Right or buy a new home. MortgageRight.com/TNR. NMLS 2239 equal housing lender.
All right. When we, Jay says 6 seconds in heaven is better than 5 seconds in heaven.
Well, I would agree. 1 more second.
Yeah, we used to go 7 minutes in heaven, though, right? That's what we did, right?
No, that's not all kissing, Rockstar.
Yeah.
I think there was
conversation. That's like icebreakers.
I think there was heavy petting involved, right?
There was some persuading going on, some debates.
What do you want to do for 6.5 minutes?
Deal making. All right. That is that segment. When we come back, Auburn football wraps up the show. Zac Blackerby is on the other side right here on TNR.
Follow Jon Lunceford on Twitter @jlunce.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round. Unfortunately, over the past year, I've noticed significant hair loss. I asked around, and everyone said call Dr. Beckenstein. He is the absolute best. Dr. B pioneered the use of NeoGraft hair restoration right here in Alabama, and he remains at the forefront of hair preservation in the Southeast. He takes pride in treating each patient personally, applying his expertise to produce quality results. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein for a range of hair restoration and cosmetic procedures. He uses that experience and his advanced training to help his patients fully understand his procedures they are considering. Call Dr. Beckenstein today, 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Grace McWhorter down at Auburn practice talking to the players as we speak. She joined us to start the hour. We'll end it with Zac Blackerby here right after Brownie tells us about New York Butcher Shop.
New York Butcher Shop is, they bring you the steak bet every single time one is made right here on the show, and that's where it is paid off. Jim and the crew at New York Butcher Shop, both Cahaba Heights and Greystone. Make sure you got the best under rock pork chops, the great steaks, the amazing sides. When I talk about steaks, everything from prime to Wagyu, the great sides, don't overlook those. You can do an entire meal right there at New York Butcher Shop. nybutcher.com, or go see Jim and the gang, Cahaba Heights and Greystone. Rare quality, well-done service at New York Butcher Shop. Zac Blackerby covers the Auburn Tigers and is part of Village Vice, along with Brad Law, and maybe even more content coming your way from Zac. We'll perhaps make an announcement about that next week here on our platform. What is up, Zac? How are you?
What a tease. I can't wait to hear more.
Just wait till you hear what you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
I know, like EG, you were over at practice earlier today, and I'll start the same way I started with her. Is there a broad takeaway? Is there anything that you would just say is a broad, I'm looking from the sidelines, this is a broad takeaway from the first 2 days of Auburn practice?
Yeah, from the first 2 days, absolutely. I think the roster looks larger than it did before. Obviously, wide receiver is the thing that Auburn fans are so excited about and craving some production from those wide receivers in the passing game. Got to see Perry Thompson for the first time as an Auburn Tiger, and he looks the part. He's just a freshman, so how quick can he come along? But obviously, Perry Thompson has all the traits that you want out of an SEC wide receiver, which is what Hugh Freeze said at his fall opening presser yesterday. But he and Cam Coleman and Keandre Lambert-Smith and Rivaldo Fairweather, this group of pass catchers, it looks different than anything we've seen before at Auburn.
They look like, well, I don't want to overstate this. I'm not going to say Laquan Treadwell and those guys, but they look like Hugh Freeze's Ole Miss receivers. Like, you remember Hugh Freeze kind of had a look for an Ole Miss receiver, and these guys look a lot more like that.
Yeah. We're I was sitting next to Lance Dahl, who writes for AuburnDaily.com yesterday, and Perry walked in front of us, and he's like, "That is a Hugh Freeze receiver."
Yeah.
And he's right. I mean, Hugh Freeze has a type. There's no question about it. And there's a reason. I mean, you look at the A.J. Browns and the Van Jeffersons and the Laquan Treadwells. Like, those are guys that their game translated to the next level because they're big and fast, and it makes life easier for a quarterback, which seemed to be kind of the main objective this offseason for Auburn.
It's really easy to get intoxicated by the freshmen in this, but how important does having a guy who's been through the battles of big games like Lambert-Smith play in that receiving room and on game days, just to know that he's been in the battle before?
Yeah, I was interested to see how quickly they put Keandre Lambert-Smith up the depth chart, because he missed spring, much like Perry Thompson did. Obviously went through things at Penn State. It's a different situation because he's been playing college football for a while. But I was wondering, like, is the plan to have him ready day one, or are they going to kind of ease him in? And yesterday, we didn't get to see as much today, but yesterday, anytime the ones were there and they started subbing out of it, it was Cam Coleman, one outside wide receiver, and KLS was the other outside wide receiver. So you got to think that they're ready to get him involved. And after every rep, more so yesterday than today, but there was a coach in his ear after every rep. They're putting a lot of emphasis on making sure he's ready.
Our friend Zac Blackerby is with us. More on what Zach's doing this football season coming up next week. It's easy not to. You're laughing at his reaction.
Yeah, I was laughing at his reaction.
I'm hoping he knows anything about this.
I don't know what y'all are talking about. I can't wait to hear.
Jarquez Hunter. It's easy to talk about everything else and then forget about all the goodness you have coming back in Jarquez Hunter. This is maybe, when it's all said and done, the most dynamic running back in the SEC. Is that an overstatement?
I don't think so. He's good. There's no question about it. He's good, and I think the offense is going to be set up around him to be able to succeed. But it's not just Jarquez Hunter. Damari Austin looks incredible. I mean, it seems like he's put on some really good weight. And then Jeremiah Cobb, he was asked, Hugh Freeze was asked about Jeremiah Cobb yesterday, the biggest difference from now versus, a year ago, and he quickly said his thighs. So Jerithiah Cobb, maybe? Maybe?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Probably not. Maybe we can make it a thing. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, it's a loaded running back room. There's no question about it. And so Jarquez is going to lead the way, but it is going to be fun to see, like, what does the market share of touches and snaps and reps look like in the running back room? Because Auburn's got a good, nice problem on its hands there.
Look, it's 2 practices, so I don't anticipate, and we've seen spring, but even spring and 2 practices, you probably can't make this determination. But if I ask you to tell me what will I notice immediately different about a Ron Roberts defense and a DJ Durkin defense, what would be the answer?
I think they're going to send more. I think they're going to send more guys, and some of that I think is going to have to do with scheme, and I think some of that is going to have to do with, can Auburn consistently get pressure when they rush 4? And I'm not sure that I'm there yet. There's a ton of belief in Keldrick Falk at defensive end taking that next step. He's got to do it. I mean, it seems like he's set up to do it, and they took him to media days, and they've really kind of propped him up, and he's deserving of it. But he's got to do it. He's got to do it on the field. And then you saw Jalen McLeod last year really come on towards the second half of the season. That's a guy who's like, can he stay healthy? Can he stay healthy consistently? Then they brought in Kieran Crawford, who we saw for the first time yesterday and the second time today. Looks long, looks lean. So maybe he can kind of help as a pass rusher for the Tigers. But I think you're going to see guys like Eugene Asante and Austin Keys and maybe Dori Mayusi, the transfer from Duke. I think you're going to see some linebackers get sent to generate some pressure. One, out of scheme, because that's what Durkin does, and two, out of necessity, because they have to get a pass rush to win some games in the SEC.
As a cornerback, as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, I've watched Auburn's cornerbacks with my team for the last 4, 5, 6 years, and a couple of playoff trips and a Super Bowl. That Auburn DB room continues to produce some NFL-like talent. How good is the Auburn back into the defense this year?
Yeah, the Auburn cornerback that I can't quit watching and I can't quit talking about is Kayan Lee. I know Keontae Scott is getting a lot of the attention. He's the veteran that came back, and there's a lot of excitement about his game. 100% deserves all of it. But Kayan Lee, the sophomore corner, I think he's going to be one of the breakout stars in the SEC this year. I think he's exceptional. He hit the ground running as a true freshman going through spring last year. And I love corners. It's my favorite position to watch. And I'm watching this kid in his first, second, or third practice at the college level. And it's like his feet and his hands, he's doing things that you don't typically see early enrollee true freshmen do. And so fast forward a year later, after Nehemiah Pritchett missed the first few games of the season, he was kind of thrust into that starting role as a true freshman. He's exceptional. And I love that other guys are getting attention, because I don't think Kayan Lee really cares about that kind of stuff, because I don't think he's going to be, the loud type of corner. I think he's going to line up and beat you. But Kayan Lee, to me, is the story of this defensive back room right now. I think he's going to be a star.
Zach, before you go, I was a little surprised when Coach Free sat down with us at SEC Media Days a couple weeks ago that they had done absolutely, if I understood him right, nothing with the in-helmet communication. Like, it was going to start day one of fall camp. And then I saw reports that did not go well day one of fall camp. They weren't real happy with the way it went. Did I misread that?
Oh, interesting. I hadn't seen that report. He was asked about it going into the first practice when he did his presser yesterday, and he said, he kind of laid the groundwork of like, yeah, that's part of fall camp. We've got to figure out what that looks like. So it sounded like he wasn't too excited about that process, and maybe that's why it didn't go well.
I think the report I saw, now this could have been related more to the play, and I would love to credit whoever tweeted this from practice or whatever their observation was that he slammed the headset down to the ground, and that could have been just play related, but I thought I remember them saying the in-helmet has not worked well, and maybe they were having communication issues. I just thought it was interesting that even this late they had done absolutely nothing with it, because I know they weren't able to do it in spring.
Yeah. I mean, coaches have to learn that too. I mean, all of your procedures and everything that you do on the sideline, that has to be practiced too. You don't just show up at game day and know how all that stuff works. So if that's going to be part of what they do, which I think you're at a disadvantage if you don't use it, they've got to figure that out. And so I don't know if it's a technology thing or if it was a connection thing or what, because they get 15 seconds. And so he talked about how important that would be to be able to communicate with Peyton yesterday. And so you got to think that they're going to do everything they can to make sure all that's good. But I hadn't seen that report, but he did sound a little nervous when he was talking about it yesterday.
All right, you can follow Zach on Twitter at @ZBlackerby on Twitter. Clint Lamb was on with us earlier. Clint covers Alabama. We said, Clint has moved on from On 3. There'll be an announcement about his future next week. Zach is still doing a lot of things, but there will also be an announcement next week about some more things Zach is adding to the plate.
Congratulations. 5 years with Locked On, too. I saw that yesterday, man. That's a great run. You do great work there, and I know the Auburn fans love that. So 5 great years.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a fun ride, and excited to add more to the plate next week, maybe. Can't wait to see what the announcement is.
We'll have that for you next week. Zach, thank you. Have a great weekend. Always good to talk to you.
Hey, thanks, guys. Talk soon.
All right, buddy. Zac Blackerby with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
One of the good guys in the business right there. Some developing news that Forrester is passing along to us now from Kentucky Sports Radio. Matt Jones, he is the first to be reporting that Kentucky football has been placed on 2 years probation. Again, this is from Matt Jones, Kentucky Sports Radio. If Matt Jones says it in the state of Kentucky, you can put it in the Constitution. It is spot on. Kentucky football placed on 2 years probation and will have to vacate games after the use of ineligible players for 2+ years. Now, the NCAA says the school had no knowledge of this, so this is on straight on the coaching staff here. This is the case, Matt writes, where 11 players were paid for work they did not do at jobs around the Lexington area.
That's old school mafia, the old no-show job, right?
Yeah, 11 players there, but 2 years probation, ineligible players for 2+ years, and vacation of wins. According to the early reports, no postseason ban in this situation, no postseason ban. And if you're a Michigan fan, you're looking down the road and you're saying, okay, they used 11 ineligible players for over 2+ years, and they're getting 0 postseason ban. You understand why the Michigan folks have 0 concern about any postseason bans with their sign stealing allegations.
Yeah, I mean, I just think days of postseason bans are probably over. I think that's. I think you're seeing that. I mean, there was a day where if you had 11 guys being paid to do a job that they didn't have to show up for, you would be worried about losing 20 scholarships over that.
A much more intimate conversation, Auburn on Auburn conversation with Taylor Korn and Zac Blackerby is available on the Uncorked platform, and old interviews that you can go back, maybe new to you if you haven't seen them yet. You can get all that Uncorked right there on the YouTube page there. War Down Pods, Roll Tide Pods with Mick and Jake, and of course the Pennant Grace with Emily Grace McWhorter. Until next time, God bless you, God bless America.